Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Laud with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Kevin Durant made his return to the floor and made his debut for the Phoenix Suns in a 105-91 win over the Hornets. Durant played 27 minutes, had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists.
That's a lot.
And shot 10 of 15 from the field. Sacramento Kings are off today. They'll be back in action tomorrow night when they host the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers are in San Francisco tonight to take on the Warriors. Clippers are currently in the 6th seed and a game behind in the loss column to the Warriors, who sit in the 5th seed. It's 11 o'clock. Now it's time for Deuce and Mo.
live from Sacramento
It's Deuce and Mo.
on Sactown Sports.
We are live. Juice Mason, Morgan Reagan.
That sounded so fake.
I didn't have it today. I don't have it today. I'm glad you called me
I
out.
know.
I almost went with a "We are live," but I didn't want to bring us down.
Dude.
You know, I'm just.
Yeah, go there. Let's go there. Therapy session this first hour. How's
Yeah.
everyone doing?
The most dynamic duo.
Yes.
Okay, that helps.
We're gonna have a fun show today. Kings are off
Duh.
again today. Can we get a game, please? I need a game. Kings are back at practice today. Hopefully, we hear something about De'Aaron Fox's wrist. Everything's good to go.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll keep you up to date on that. Kings get ready for 2 big games coming up this weekend. Clippers, and then of course the T-Wolves back to back Friday and Saturday. You know, having pets can be amazing. Can be, you know, the joy they bring, but when they get hurt,
It's worse.
it's crazy.
It's
It's my first time experiencing it. And little Carlin threw out his back. He's been a mess all week. I have an appointment with the vet tomorrow to figure out what's wrong with his dog's back, because this guy who runs everywhere, goes crazy, is doing nothing but laying around. And I've been
makes
giving
me
him pain
sick.
medicine. I had to pick up some more pain medicine before the show today. It just sucks.
Yeah, no, it's deflating mentally, physically. I mean, I will never forget when Bojack was pooping and throwing up for like 30 minutes straight, and I was like, my dog's dead. My dog's dead. Like, he's dead. Like, I could barely hold myself together, and like that moment drained me. But then it was like, hey, he's actually fine. Like, took him to ER and he was fine. But it's like, when you look at like an injury like this and they can't talk to you, and it's not like Carlin's limping, it's
No.
just Carlin's just hurt.
Low energy. And it's not a surprise, Chris, because he is, if I were to compare him to a wrestler,
Yeah,
he is Mick Foley.
Ooh.
Yes.
Carlin's life,
100%.
he has jumped out of a second story
I was going to say, didn't he have the...
You should tell that story.
Okay, so get this.
Tell that story.
Out of town, right? At someone's house. We're going to be gone for a little bit. Put Carlin upstairs in the bedroom. I was a little nervous for it, for sure. We get back. Oh, where's Carlin? He's not in the room. You open up the door to the room. There is a hole in the screen. He got through the screen. I'm like, okay, well, that's not good.
Like, he's on the roof.
Either he's on the roof or
Hopefully he's on the roof.
he's
Hopefully.
splattered, right? So I'm walking downstairs
stories.
thinking, oh, this is going to be the end. And I am going to be really depressed. He comes out running like, oh, everything's fine. He was completely fine. Nothing happened. No vet visit. But now he's just a climber, man. This little dog likes to climb on top of a table. You're like, what are you doing? And now I get home from work one day and he's like shaking and scared. I'm like, what is happening?
Dude, think about if you like, and that's why, think about children that do that crap.
Yeah.
Like little
well,
humans.
I'm sorry. It is my kid. Okay.
No, and that's what I'm
it's my
saying.
little
And that's
son.
when, but like a human can at least express like, something hurts, or like even if they can't talk, like I don't know what a little baby kid does. A baby kid.
They sound like a sheep for some reason.
My back hurts, mom. But yeah, like there's just more communication there, and I think when it comes to a dog and it's like Carlin and they're active, it's so depressing seeing them down like this.
Yeah,
so.
it is. And I just want him back, man. I want him sprinting. I want him being himself. He just and it's good because he's on some medicine right now, so he's just chilling. But it's at the same time, it's like that's not who you are.
Hey, what are you gonna do when he gets old and he like has more problems?
I'm not talking about that today. We're not talking about that today on the show, Morgan. Okay, that's not what we're talking about.
What would Carlin say if he was like super old and injured?
I think it's time for me to go now, Deucey.
No.
I see a light and I want to walk towards it.
There is no amount of money I would spend. I would go broke to ensure he lives forever.
Well, it's good you have
We're
7
getting close
jobs.
to that in science.
Yeah, I know. I can't wait. I appreciate you guys hanging
Oh.
out with us. It's Deuce and Mo, Christopher Ladd, the other voice. We got a big show today. Of course, we're talking hoops, but I'm really excited about this. Scheduled to appear. What? Jordan Richard. So Jordan Richard
Scheduled.
is from Swish Cultures. This guy is one of the best basketball content creators out there. He does such an
Yes.
amazing job with Swish Cultures. If you follow him on Instagram, breaking down players. He's done a few on the Sacramento Kings based in SoCal. He was at that Kings Clippers Classic the other night. And so he's scheduled to join us at noon. The reason I say that is because just been going a little back and forth trying to
Sure.
get it all dialed in. We do know that an NBA Sixth Man of the Year, one of my favorite Kings of all time,
Let's
the
go.
current head coach of the Stockton Kings, Bobby Jackson, will be joining us today on the show.
Yeah.
Talk to Bobby. By the way, Stockton, who plays tonight,
Mhm.
Kings are off. So if you're looking for something to do, go down the road, Stockton Arena. Stockton Kings are in action taking on the Texas Legends. Stockton, by the way, 16-6 this year, which is second in the Western Conference. So the big squad, the number 3 seed in the West, the G League squad, number 2, Keon Ellis playing well.
This
the
is
rookie.
so fun to see both teams
Yeah.
good at the same time, because when the last time the Stockton Kings made the playoffs was their first season in Stockton, Deuce and I were calling games back then. Obviously, the big club, the Sacramento Kings, weren't the greatest at the time. And so right now, calling a team that's fun to watch, they're good on the floor, and then covering a team like the Sacramento teams that are fun to watch and good on the floor, everything's good.
Yeah.
Except Carlin's back.
Just Carlin's back.
Yep.
He's day to day at this point. We'll find out tomorrow. Kings are off. I am curious to see if we learn anything more about De'Aaron Fox for sure. But tonight is going to be fun in the NBA. The Clippers, who have lost 3 in a row,
Yeah.
take on the Golden State Warriors on TNT. It's interesting for a variety of reasons. One, just the Clippers need a win. The Warriors are starting to feel themselves a little bit winning. They hope to get Steph back soon. But the Kings play this team on Friday, which is tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I am curious to see how Ty Lue handles things tonight. And if it, changes anything for tomorrow night. Like, does Kawhi play on the second night of a back-to-back?
Yeah. No, I was like, where is he going with this? What do you mean? What is he going to change? No, you're exactly right. And it's like, even if it's Ty Lue's decision or not, it's what we've seen from Kawhi Leonard throughout the year was that he was playing on and off. I mean, my God, in the beginning of the season, he was barely playing. Made his first appearance and then didn't play for 2 weeks until 2 weeks later. So yeah, it would make sense for him not to play on the second night of a back-to-back, but is there going to come a time where he eventually gets to that point? You mentioned this yesterday and you were like, yeah, he's going to have to get to that point. And you're like, well, I guess in the playoffs, it's not like you're playing a back-to-back.
No, you're not. So to me, it's like, if you think what's best for Kawhi is not to play back-to-backs, fine. I think at the same point, you want to get in. You don't want to be in a play-in situation. That's no fun for a team. So they want to get into the top 6, and they're 6th right now.
Yeah, no, it's these games right now in the NBA. It's not just for the Kings. Like, they're important, they're fun. But you go around the NBA each and every night. I love it even when we see Kings fans on Twitter and they're like, ooh, so-and-so beat so-and-so. Ooh, so-and-so lost tonight. It makes it more fun for the Kings, sure. But then seeing what these other teams have tried to create over these seasons and what they're not accomplishing, that's so mean, but it's true. I take joy in that.
I mean, if you're the Clippers right now, if the playoffs started today, you'd be taking on the Kings.
Yeah.
You'd probably like that matchup if you're the Clippers.
Hell yeah.
I would assume, right?
Yeah.
You'd feel confident about that. You'd feel more confident than being in the 5th spot and getting ready to take on the Phoenix Suns. We saw Kevin Durant make his debut with the Suns last night against the Hornets. Such a smart move by the Suns to debut him against a bad Hornets team.
Yep.
And he looked pretty good out there.
He
in his
did.
first game back. They were limiting his minutes, but you saw the potential of that group. And I think the biggest thing that we haven't really talked about with Kevin Durant going to Phoenix, we talk so much about how explosive that team can be offensively, but I'm telling you, I think he's going to impact things defensively for that team. People forget how impactful he was defensively when he was with the Golden State Warriors. You could start seeing that maybe come together with him in Phoenix.
Well, you lose someone in Mikal Bridges who is long, lengthy guy, that two-way guy, right? Kevin Durant, we know his dominance on the offensive end. Defensively, though, he has that length. He has that ability to be up in someone's face, to keep those arms up, to stay vertical. So yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things where it will be more surprising, especially because he's coming off that injury, being rested, if you want to go in that direction too. And for the Suns, you got to feel a little bit more inspired when you finally get that addition on your floor, right?
Well, he makes life easier for everybody.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, it's like we talked about on a much lesser scale. We talk about, hey man, HB's had some nice games this year for the Kings. After a slow shooting start, he's kind of turned it around. How big was he the other night? Well, for the Suns, now all of a sudden you're not depending on Chris Paul to give you everything. Where in the Suns playoff runs the last couple of years, it was like, all right, they really need Chris Paul to play out of his mind. And some nights he could give it to you. Other nights it was like, is he okay?
Yeah.
Like he's banged up. I don't know if he still has that capability. Well, now all of a sudden you're not counting on Chris Paul to do that. Talk about the pressure it takes away from Chris Paul. That's why the Suns team is so dangerous too.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch them play more, and I think it's one of those things when you look at Kevin Durant, it's just fun to have someone like that back playing in the NBA. And yeah, the angles of him playing on a brand new team in the Western Conference, it's all fun as a basketball fan. It's scary as a Kings fan, but I'm excited to see what that squad can produce. There was times last night when I was watching when it was just like Chris Paul and Kevin Durant at the top of the key, and they would try to attack a gap, couldn't get anything past it out. Attack a gap, couldn't get anything past it out. It was just kind of playing along the perimeter, and those are the moments where I'm like, still brand new.
Yeah.
We saw that with Kyrie and Luka. You guys are just going to have to try and continue to play your game.
Kyrie and Luka. 1-4.
Dang,
You got
dude.
sausage arms and cankles.
That's so
That
great.
wasn't me pressing that. That was Chris taking a shot at Luka. Hey, coming up next, we got to talk about something wild that happened in the NBA last night, plus a couple of NBA rule changes on the horizon. Do we like them? We'll do that coming up in 60 seconds on the radio sites. We're always live on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Whoa, we got an update on LeBronathan.
What? Uh-oh.
By the way, you know how I said Jordan Richard, like, hey, we'll see. He said, hey, let's do next week. That's okay.
And I love Jordan.
He's so great. He's a busy guy. It's
Yeah.
hard to. All right, hold on. Let me unschedule this tweet.
So annoying. I need Dayquil. My face is I'm so annoyed with my face. I'm so annoyed.
I think we're all playing hurt today.
What's going on with you, Chris?
I messed up my back so bad yesterday.
Are you serious?
You and
Yes.
Carlin, dude.
What'd
happened?
you do?
I don't know. Just being old, I guess.
No.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's old.
You're not that old.
We
We-
could have been in high school together.
Yeah. We should do a stretching sesh the next commercial break. You want to do that with some namaste? Yeah.
Ward says, did you guys see that dude walk out of AEW? Eddie Kingston, who, by the way, totally played us on the show at the end. Coming back, I'm guessing.
What do you mean?
At the end, when it's totally storyline. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be in Sacramento. Depends on how that match goes. I don't know what's happening. And then at the end of AEW last night, or during AEW Dynamite last night, he's like, I quit, because he's going to Ring of Honor.
I wish he was going to be here.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, Reagan. We do have an update on LeBron James.
Yeah, what?
Adrian Wojnarowski just putting out moments ago that the Lakers plan to reevaluate LeBron James's right tendon injury in 3 weeks.
Well,
That puts you into late March, Morgan Reagan.
I mean,
It's March 2nd.
they done.
March 23rd-ish?
They done.
If my math is correct, and I just looked it up, say like best case scenario, 3 weeks, you're great. You're fantastic. You could play the rest of the season. That would only be 11 games the rest of the season for him.
And you look at their schedule coming up here. I mean,
They have to win 12.
listen to their next 4 games. Minnesota, who just beat the Clippers, Golden State. They could have a chance, I guess, without Steph, but maybe not. Memphis,
Okay.
Toronto, the Knicks.
They
That's the next 5.
They done. That's fair, right?
You know, for LeBron, who for most of his career stayed healthy, really the last few years he's starting to break down a little bit. And I'm not saying that as a shot or anything. It is what it is.
Yep.
I mean, the guy's got a ton of mileage on him.
Yeah.
All these finals runs, all these games, year after year after year. You could wear down your body. And here we are talking about another season where LeBron is dealing with injury. I mean, think about his time with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Pretty much most of his time with LA, the end of the season, he's been hurt.
Well, was it the ankle last year?
I don't remember.
I think it was last. I'm pretty sure it was last year when he had that press conference and he was like, "I don't think I'll ever be the same." After whatever year that was with the ankle injury, and it really hasn't truly been the same. He's had to change his game, but he hasn't executed. When I say he hasn't executed the change of his game, I'm saying like at the premier level that he was at.
I don't know what you mean by that.
So what I mean by that is that he's had to now change his game by shooting more from the outside, right? Like
he's still averaging under 30 points a game.
Again, I'm saying shooting from the outside. That's all. That's where he's scoring from. Not to say that he's not scoring. He's had to change his game and be an outside shooter rather than just drive it in all the time, right? Be explosive, get into the paint, drive it in. He still does that. But my whole point to this is him altering his game was ultimately going to hopefully be the thing that allows him to last longer, right? Not get banged up in the middle of the key, not have to go through guys and start making that outside shot. It's sad when you see these injuries happen to someone that becomes older and older in the league. Again, 38 in the NBA is old, and it lingers or it slows them down in another way. And I just feel like this being another ankle injury, we're not going to see him as explosive even as this year going to the basket. That's what I'm saying. It just
you're going to lose
declines.
Explosiveness just by getting older.
Exactly.
And then you add in all these injuries, all the mileage. And here the Lakers are on their way to missing another playoffs. That is insane.
I love it, but I know the NBA doesn't love it. And I think for LeBron James and what he wanted at the end of his career, it sucks. Who's the guy on the Heat? The old guy?
Udonis Haslem?
Haslam. He just had a quote the other day saying I stay up at night. This is not the way I wanted to end my career with the way that the Heat are underperforming. And so you think about someone like that who doesn't even get many minutes on the floor, is just more there as the veteran presence, the experience, a leader. And then someone like LeBron, whose mindset is championship, got to get these championships before I'm done. It's feeling pretty done.
Yeah. And not KJJK brings up a point saying he needs to transition to even more of a perimeter player, but he can't. So he's still relying on athleticism and getting hurt. And
Facts.
You're right. Like that's when he got hurt, it was an attack to the basket. So it's tough. And his 3-point shooting was not good this year.
No.
30% from 3-point land. I mean, also part of it, they don't have good spacing. I don't think they run a really good offense. But yeah, I mean, we thought that the Lakers were going to make a little bit of a push here post-trade deadline with the moves they made, which on paper look kind of nice. But look, when two of your guys that you're counting on, and this is what we always talk about in the league, there's so much like what if, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the same thing goes with the Suns. You're counting on if these guys stay healthy. Well, lately, if you're counting on Anthony Davis and LeBron James to stay healthy, okay. If you're counting on Kawhi Leonard to stay healthy, if you're counting on someone like Kevin Durant, Chris Paul to stay healthy,
yeah,
that's a challenge. Are you about to sneeze?
So this thing keeps happening to me, you guys. Where is this what sinus infections always do? Where I'm about to sneeze and my eyes water up and everything hurts, but then it doesn't come out.
Morgan's really struggling. Any doctors out there who
Help
have experience with sinus issues?
Me.
Morgan's
Help me.
bringing it to the show again.
When healthy, she's good on her
That's
shows.
what it is. Yeah. Hey, when Morgan's good, mentally and physically, she's locked in. But that's not very often.
When
It's
the
not very
Deuce and
often.
Mo show is healthy,
Oh,
nobody can beat it.
Oh,
Nobody. But right now, anyone could beat me. Going back to exactly what you're saying though, Deuce, about how we have to preface things with some of those players, some of those teams when healthy. I think when it comes to Kawhi, why it's still a little different is because I mean, if he's healthy at the end of the season, that's when it matters most, right?
Right.
And I know chemistry and everything could come into play, but when it comes to LeBron James and Anthony Davis, mostly Anthony Davis, his reputation being when healthy, he's really, really dominant out there. But that's the line that goes into when talking about Anthony Davis.
From a Kings perspective, you're glad that the
Ooh.
Lakers are just out of the mix. And not that you were necessarily going to face them, but like, you know, the Lakers just being in it, like if you, and I don't think the Kings are going to drop in the play-in. I think I'm confident now that they're staying in the top 6. But like if the Kings were in like a situation where they had to be a play-in against LeBron, that would have been scary, right? Like
Yeah.
it just would have been. So the fact that AD and LeBron have been unable to stay healthy this year, and now you don't have to worry about them. They're not going to make it. And it's just so ironic that all this is happening with the Lakers after Brian Windhorst was putting out there. I talked to someone close to the Lakers, and they're really trying to get that 6 seed because they'd love to play Sacramento. I'm like,
Bye.
get out.
Can I be honest on it? Or please, what?
I'm just laughing at you.
Because can I be honest?
Can I be honest on this? No, I do not want you to be honest about the Lakers.
Please
don't
lie.
offend anyone.
Okay. Well, when you first said that and you're like, doesn't it make you feel good as a Kings fan? So as a Kings fan, I want to go like physically take it and just shove it into Lakers fans' faces, like and hurt their faces because they suck so bad and I hate them and they're so mean and evil and they're bullies. And that makes me feel really good and I want to be petty about it. But as someone that covers the Sacramento Kings, yeah, I'm really happy just because then you don't have to face someone like Anthony Davis, who is a tough matchup. Obviously, LeBron James, when he can turn on the Jets, he can go. But Fan Morgan, shoving it in the face.
So LeBron, he joined the Lakers. Was that the 18-19 season he joined them? Let's double check that. Yeah, 18-19. He got hurt at the end of that season, right? He was banged up. They won 37 games missed. Next year, they won the finals.
Yep. In the bubble.
In the bubble.
Don't. I see your face.
Some people call it the Mickey Mouse ring.
Which it's not.
We should acknowledge that if the Kings won that, we would be like, it counts, blah, blah. But with the Lakers, we call it the Mickey Mouse
I would
ring.
say it's the Mickey Mouse trophy just because they won it.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
If someone else won it, then it would be.
I'll give you that.
the next year, they
Uh-huh.
lost in the first round.
Okay.
Year after that, did not make it. And then this year, they're not going to make it. So when LeBron James, since he has come to LA, they had that one championship. Other than that, it's been first round and out or missing the playoffs. Crazy.
I feel better.
Crazy. We do need to get to these NBA rule changes. We had that breaking news about LeBron we had to talk about. So we'll get to some of these rule changes if it's a good thing in the league. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Hey, PBTV, you are quickly becoming the biggest heel in the chat. Lakers have 16 rings. The Queens have how many?
I love it.
No. Queens, like, you think Queens being an insult in 2023 is a thing. And
That's
it's
why
just
it's
tired.
funny.
It's just tired.
I love it
You're
because
terrible.
He sounds stupid. It's funny.
Yeah.
um
What's up, JG? What's up, Eli? Let's acknowledge the other people here. What's up, Triple J Sharf? Tins in the building. Hey, Leezy. So Leezy says, can I be honest? Morgan's slogan. Yes.
Facts.
Amon, what's up? Jim, Sato, Megan, not KJJK, King Gibby, Ward, Donnie. What's up, Steve, Patrick? Hey, B-Ball Jones. Appreciate all you guys being here. Martin's in the house. Of course, Brooke. You know, Brooke said, since our show started back here at Sactown Sports,
Yeah.
before our show, she read 7 books in a month.
No.
Now she has read 1 this month, and
Brooke.
she's blaming us.
Oh my god.
Can I say something too?
What?
I also read more when you guys weren't here.
Oh my god. I'm so sorry that we have to entertain you. It's I think my dad said something like, "Yeah, I hate you guys." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Because you're taking up my whole damn day because I'm listening to you every day." I'm like, "Boo hoo."
Brent says, since you guys dig Bad Friends so much, I think you'd
Yes.
really dig all fantasy everything. It's incredible and right up your alley.
Ooh.
Let's see. Let me just take a.
Take a look. Dabble. Look down.
Oh, I just remembered that I bought a book from somebody the other day.
Who?
We were at Firestone. Not Firestone. What's
Oh,
that pizza place?
Public place, public house.
No, what's the pizza place in the alley?
Oh,
Federalist.
No, thank you.
The Federalist. I knew it started with an F. And someone had a book there. And it was just like, "Oh, are you from Sacramento?" Oh,
What book was it?
I don't know. I think it's in my car.
So you just bought it because the person was from Sacramento.
She was right there.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Sacramento
"Oh, will you
pride.
sign it for me?"
You know what? I like that.
Wait, oh, and it was her. Like she wrote
Yes.
it.
Mhm.
Oh, that's so cool. That is so cool. Have you read T.R. Reagan books?
Can I ask you? Chew your food before you keep talking.
I didn't have any food in my mouth.
Chris, did you get that signed?
I didn't even have that.
You wore. What was that noise you're
It
making?
was probably just like because my nose.
No, Chris, you know what I'm saying. She was chewing while talking.
No, I wasn't.
Yes,
There was a sniffling, I
No.
heard.
Yeah. See.
You sound like
No,
Carlin.
you sound and you sound
like
annoyed,
Carlin.
and you sound annoyed. You.
That's how it was sounding. Yeah, exactly. You put your little vegan cookie down. Can I have a piece of that?
No, God, no.
No,
Don't even look at me.
no, it could be like a
No, it could be
It's a-
nothing.
it's a
it
piece-
could actually be nothing.
it's a peace offering.
No,
That-
but what
That's a solid move, Deuce. Making fun of Morgan
Thank you.
about eating something
Yeah.
to where she doesn't want to eat anything,
or
and
even
then
look at him.
saying, "Oh, well, since you're not going to eat that, can I have it?"
Like I'm still gonna eat it.
But you have a little piece that's broken off.
Bye,
I'll just.
bye. Yeah, Raider Ted says mucus. LOL. Yeah,
Raider what?
Raider Ted.
Okay. I thought you said something else.
Why would I say something bad?
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Mo. Thank you, Mo.
Have you read a T.R. Reagan book?
I have not.
Dude, no, it's fine. I didn't even start reading them until this year because I was too afraid. But I started the 4th book in her 6-book series that's really good, based on the Madison Avenue radio station.
Oh, really?
And so
Wait, what do you mean based on it?
so like
The setting.
the setting, I'm sorry, the setting is
is at the radio station?
yeah. And so like the story though is like is about a radio host, and she like says she has a stalker for ratings, blah 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 blah, all this stuff. But like they're walking when they walk through certain places, it's described as the old Madison Avenue building.
Huh.
Because my mom asked me when I was an intern there, she's like, "Will you record things and like give me descriptions?" I was like, "Sure." And then it's like I'm reading it right now or listening to it on Audible, and I'm like, "Ah, God."
She should have checked it out when there's nobody in the building anymore
Oh,
and everything was broken.
Rob
that sounds scary.
wants to know what on earth is in that plain white carton, Morgan.
It is boxed water, everybody.
You know, they should make it a different color. It just looks like milk.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports headlines. Kevin Durant made his return to the floor and made his debut for the Phoenix Suns in a 105-91 win over the Hornets. Durant played 27 minutes and had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and shot 10 of 15 from the field. Sacramento Kings are off today. They'll be back in action tomorrow night when they host the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers are in San Francisco tonight to take on the Warriors. The Clippers are currently in the 6th seed and a game behind in the loss column to the Warriors, who sit in the 5th seed. ESPN Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that the Lakers are going to give LeBron some more time to get healthy. Lakers now plan to reevaluate LeBron James' right foot tendon injury in 3 weeks. Now more with Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Morgan Fiden, proud of you.
I'm fine.
Their sinus issue.
We have to call a game tonight, so I gotta be.
I forgot about that.
Don't you remember we have 7 jobs? What?
Oh,
You were literally talking to us about it.
I just realized it.
Oh my God.
Speaking of the Stockton Kings, their
Yeah.
head coach,
Yeah.
Bobby Jackson, will be joining us live at 1 p.m. today.
Hell yeah.
We'll have to ask him just about the progress of like Keon Ellis and Mias Queta, but also want his perspective on the Sacramento Kings for sure.
Hell yeah. I have something for you really quick.
Ooh,
I wanted
okay.
to say, and I think I said it to you earlier, but you might have forgot. Because someone had mentioned fog machine. Yeah, fog machine. Because they were just so excited that on our YouTube stream, there are no breaks, right? We go straight through the breaks. We're always talking and everything, and people are loving it. And I saw fog machine. It reminded me of No Dunks this morning. I was listening to them early on, and they were mentioning Deuce Mo in the fog machine and celebrating Kings wins in the beam.
Speaking of that fog machine,
Yeah.
when was the first time that you used it?
Last week, I think.
Last week?
Why?
When did the sinus problem start with you, Morgan?
Probably a couple days ago.
The blood is not on my hands, so I do not want
I mean,
to
I
be blamed.
did sneeze blood the other day, so
I don't want to be blamed.
Yeah, it was on Morgan's hands. It wasn't on your hands.
I am not being blamed for this.
Oh my God. Should I look up, can fog machines cause sinus problems?
I love that you had to type it out and say it
for-
at that pace.
May often aggravate allergies, nasal and or eye sinus problems. Oh my God.
Did we just figure it out?
Listen.
Oh my God.
Listen, Miss WebMD,
The
okay?
chemical can irritate
No,
the airway,
no.
similar to smoke and other air.
Look at me, Morgan.
what?
You're not blaming your sinus infection on our Kings win fog machine.
What am I blaming it on?
Life. It happens.
To
Okay?
be fair, it was me that blamed it.
No, but now she's believing it. Last time I checked, you guys are so disrespectful to people who work hard. Do you think you know more than doctors?
No.
Have you made a doctor appointment?
But actually, you say that, and doctors are great,
Oh, but.
but
Oh, okay.
but there are times, unless you have certain problems and or are persistent with your problems, you are not helped consistently, right?
Okay.
And I
mean,
don't need to get like that doesn't go for everyone, but we just know that that's in America, our health system isn't the best. That's why you can always turn to the internet,
Oh, yeah.
other resources. No,
Yeah,
not WebMD. where you can-
WebMD, Reddit.
No, yes, Reddit. You can turn to TikTok. You can turn to so many other people who have had these other problems and symptoms before. And right now, this is all making sense. Oh my God.
I'll hang in there, Mo. I'm sure that's completely why that's happening. Hey, if you're in the YouTube chat, by the way, can you do me a favor? Hit the thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. I know you guys listening in your cars, wherever you're listening. So many ways to do it. You can download the free Sactown Sports app. You can also watch live and chat with the people at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140, where every show streams live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6 p, starting with the morning show with Dave and Jason and Jay, us, and then Kettles and Rami. So make sure you're locked in 6 to 6 p.
Yeah, please. I love it. The chat is agreeing with me too. Thank you guys.
Tony would like to let us know that we are crazy. Tyler says fog machines in a small room absolutely can cause sinus problems. And hey, you know what I would say, Morgan?
What? Your big ass nose didn't smell it, so you're good?
1, your nose is way bigger than mine. 2, make a doctor's appointment, you clown.
Oh, really? When do I have time?
Okay.
When do I have time?
Oh, yeah. You can't take a day. Take a day off. I told you to take a day off. Why don't you take a day off and deal with it, Morgan? Huh? I don't have time. I don't have time to do anything. Then you know what? Complain about your sinus. Die. Morgan, let's talk about some of these NBA rule changes because I want to get your perspective on these. This is put out there. Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report. It doesn't mean these are happening. These are just things that he has heard and that have been talked about. The first one, NBA coaches challenges.
Okay.
We see some changes there. According to him, Per several sources, next season's most likely rule change will enable coaches to keep their challenge if successful.
Love it.
The primary concern, though, is keeping games at roughly 2 hours and 15 minutes. While challenges may average approximately 90 seconds, they can spike to 6 minutes or even longer. Okay, the issue isn't the coaches keeping their challenge. The issue, the league needs to work with the officials and the replay center to be quicker with this. I'm watching games, like late game situations, where it's a tight game. Guys are going back and forth. They're like, all right, well, we got to go review this for 17 minutes. I think I was watching, it was the Knicks game the other night. It might have been Knicks Celtics. And Mike Breen, who is Mr. NBA, right? Like he calls Knicks games. He was being really critical of the league and the officials over how long it was taking. So I'm cool with replay. I do like the idea that if you challenge something, you should keep your challenge because you were right.
You know, it's interesting that he was being critical about it too, because I think sometimes, even as a broadcaster, when you find your groove and just like the players find their groove, the rhythm, everything's fun, and then it just stops because they have to review a play over and over and over again, it ruins a lot of the momentum, just even in from an entertainment value. And so I think when you look at this, Deuce, it's just, why aren't you utilizing the people back in Jersey?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Back in the office, the league office. Like, utilize them, allow them to be the ones to not make the final call, but literally be watching the play over and over. So by the time they even get to the screen, they already kind of know.
I think so many times they want the officials on site to determine. It's like, no, help out.
Yeah.
Like, you have an angle, you have these huge screens in front of you, all these monitors, help them out. So when they get there, it's like, okay, hey, this is what we're seeing. Oh, yeah, I do see that.
Yep.
And if not, then you just flip a coin and figure it out, right? You just go, okay, all right.
No,
we toss up.
That's when they do that anyway, and they just toss the ball up anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they should utilize their resources better.
What about this potential rule change?
What?
And this came off the heels of the Kings Clippers double overtime game. How much did you love this game?
I am obsessed with it.
It's one of the best Kings games ever.
Of my life.
One of the best NBA regular season games you'll see.
Facts.
Kings won 176-175. You remember that because it was impactful in your life.
Yes.
Eric Pincus says that the NBA could reportedly implement a target score for overtime games. Quote, that would prevent overlong broadcasts and overloading players' minutes like the Clippers toward Kawhi Leonard playing 46 minutes in a double overtime loss to the Kings on Friday. Here's my problem. I'm not even anti-Elam ending potentially in overtime. My problem with this is suggesting that 46 minutes in a double overtime game is too much. We have watched games where guys are playing 50, 55 minutes in double overtime. Oh, by the way, even if you have a target score in overtime, let's just paint it this way. Let's just say the Kings game with the Clippers had a target score instead of overtime.
Okay.
So overtime was a target score, and the Kings were tied, and the target score was 165. There's no time. There's no clock. There's no stoppages in play.
Yep.
A team could call a timeout. It's not necessarily faster. Like, it could last longer, right? Like, if teams are struggling and they're tired, they're missing shots, it could be longer than an overtime session. So I just think it's misguided.
Didn't that happen at one point in the at Vegas in Summer League or something?
No, we were at the G League Winter Showcase.
That's what it was. Thank you.
The G League experimented by doing an Elam ending, like a target score for the entire fourth quarter. So at the end of 3, they'd be like, all right, the target score is plus 25. And whoever got to that number first wins the game.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not necessarily fast. There was one game, it felt like it was going to take an hour to get there.
That's what and it was game by game by game. So then you needed games to be on time for the broadcast and everything else. But yes, it did mess with it. So it's not like anything's going to necessarily be perfect, but their reasoning for the rule change, get out of here with that crap.
Yeah, we got to talk about this too. If you guys have any thoughts on that, like, should the NBA get rid of the traditional overtime and go Elam ending, like a target score? Hit us up in the chat, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. You can also give us a call at 916-339-1140. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. calls from them. They probably just want to be kept in the loop, and what I just didn't say anything. My bad. Rob says the NBA is soft. Remember the triple overtime game against the Lakers last season? The NBA didn't say anything about target scores then. That's the other thing. I don't think fans in that situation, if you're only thinking about player minutes, fine. But as I don't think anyone was watching that triple over or a double overtime game against the Clippers going, when is this going to end? You know?
Yeah.
No one was sitting there going, yeah, this is kind of boring. So,
if only this ended when one team got to 160.
Right. So I don't know. And that's part of it, I guess. And those games are so rare anyway. Like, you shouldn't be changing a rule based on something that rarely happens.
Also, on top of that, when has there been a bad version of that? When has there been a double overtime game where you're like, oh,
exactly. There. Oh, I want this to be over.
Oh, this world is a funny world. It's a
Scooter says, why are we trying to rush things? If you don't want to watch, don't watch. I was on the edge of my seat with the Clippers game. I wasn't even looking at the time. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. I think it's different with baseball, where baseball, it's like, no, the average game has gotten longer and longer and longer. Can we speed this up a little bit so the 162 games we play don't average 3 hours and whatever 18 minutes?
Seem to be having some success with the pitch clock.
Yeah, I'm all about the pitch clock.
Same. Yeah, I cannot. Like, anything that's going to take up too much of my time, no, thank you. I don't even watch Real Housewives unless it's I can fast forward through commercials.
Rob, just to be clear, I see your question about why is the NBA so quick to respond with this right after. If that was Eric Pincus, he could have been talking to a league official going, yeah, we've thought about Elam ending. And then it's not as if the league was like, hey, we need to address this now. But I thought it was a funny story to put out.
Live and local.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Watch the show now on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140 or listen for free on the Sactown Sports app.
Hey, it's Deuce Mason. It's Morgan Reagan. It's Deuce and Mo live Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. Pacific time, 1 o'clock. Bobby Jackson scheduled to join us. Stockton playing a game tonight. If you want basketball, go to Stockton tonight. But we'll talk to Bobby about some of the development of his young guys. I'll talk to Bobby too. Like, how has he developed as a coach since being in the G League?
Yeah.
And we'll ask him his thoughts on kind of what the Kings have been able to do this year in Sacramento.
He's such a fun coach to watch too.
Yeah.
I love the way that it just seems like all of his players want to buy in, listen to him. Great energy. Excited to talk to him.
I think most people in the YouTube chat right now on this whole overtime thing with the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report saying, like, yeah, I mean, the league could look to potentially use a target score in overtime at some point. And the example Eric was using was the Kings double overtime game in which Kawhi played 46 minutes as an example of maybe that would be a good way to go about it for the league. The league is clearly looking at the target score because they're experimenting with it at the G League Showcase. They use the G League to experiment with a lot of different rules. It doesn't mean they'll end up using them in the NBA, but the coaches challenge started in the G League before they implemented it.
That's what's been so fun too, Deuce. You and I, because we call G League games, we've been able to see some of these rules implemented before they even head into the NBA. One of the rules that have become so natural for us, I feel like, is the free throw rule. So you only shoot one free throw for 2 points in the G League. Keeps the game going. I mean, sometimes I feel like we're ending the game at that 2-hour mark because not having those free throws at that time is just very I don't know. It's very important to how long the game is played.
The other thing we're getting, Morgan, a lot of people concerned about your sinus issue.
I'm seeing this now.
A lot of people are suggesting that the fog machine is the reason you're feeling this way. I just don't think it is.
You see these tweets, right?
Hi.
People are like, hey, I know I first tweeted you and started using the fog machine not to do it because of the hazards to your lungs and nasal cavities. Your studio is too small and probably doesn't exhaust.
Doesn't
have an exhaust system. Yeah, it doesn't have anything.
It has a couple windows in there. You bust them open, goes right out. Hey, Chris, am I fine? Cleared sinuses.
You're definitely not fine,
but
you're breathing well.
I put the fog machine on my face pretty much.
You're like he's the real life devil, like walking and just
the real
dead,
life devil.
and and nothing kills him.
I'm the devil because I want to celebrate a Kings win in a cool way, and you're suggesting that this celebratory thing that Kings fans from all over the world have connected with, this fog machine, is the reason you're not feeling well. As if this is not the time of year people get sick all the time. Oh, you got a sinus thing? Of course you do. It's a time of the year, man.
No, sinus.
They say end of February, sinuses fall apart in Sacramento.
Is that
specifically in
when are
I can't
sinus infections most common seasons?
I can't wait.
There's a Google thing now.
Yes.
Fall is a common time of the year for sinus infections. What part of the year are we in? Winter going into spring?
We're just creeping out of
winter
fall,
going into spring.
Winter, and
hey, shove a little fog machine in there and I can get you a sinus infection too.
Everybody knows that Sacramento spring is the same as the rest of the country's fall.
Oh,
and
Chris.
let's also acknowledge this.
What
are seasons in 2023? We don't have a winter, a summer, and a spring, and a fall anymore. One day it's 75, the next it's been like 30. We had a freeze warning.
Extreme.
Last week at this time, I'm in the backyard going, is this springtime?
Did you see Truckee? There, I saw a video on Instagram, and they just have snow piles that are extremely high, like they've never seen before around this time of year. Yep, all the extremes, and now I have a sinus infection, not due to weather, but due to a small fog machine that Deuce got off Amazon. Can we get like a natural fog liquid to put in there or something?
It's all
organic. That's what I'm gonna look up.
Okay.
Organic.
We're done with your stupid Google searches today.
Nope.
One,
never.
Two. What do you? What you want? Natural fog is if you can capture San Francisco fog in this bottle, and
I think so. I think I found a fog. Organic fog juice.
No.
Definitely water-based fog. Yep, love it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's completely water-based. Did you guys see what happened last night in the NBA between the Pistons and the Bulls?
Dude,
how ironic was this? So Jaden Ivey, end of the game. There's like 9 seconds left. Pistons are down 2. They're inbounding.
Yeah.
Calls a timeout. They don't have any timeouts. Here's how it sounded on the Bulls television side late in that game.
It was their last one, and Ivy, the rookie, made the crucial mistake of calling a timeout. And you can see, I looked immediately over at Dwayne Casey, and his arms were in the air, knowing that his team did not have a timeout left.
Wow.
It's a technical foul.
That's a mistake by a young player. Wow. That kills you.
Oh my goodness!
The Bulls now get to shoot a technical and get the ball. Oh, wow! That is. Whew.
Oh, that is
huge. You can see there's panic because he couldn't see anybody in, and you look at Diallo saying no. And look at Martin. What are you doing, son? Oh, Lord. Look at there's T. Look at Patrick Beverly. He's not calling for a timeout. He's calling for a technical.
That's an excessive timeout. It's a technical foul.
That's rough for the rookie Jaden Ivey yesterday. Kind of weird. That game was in Detroit on Chris Webber's 50th birthday. Of course, Chris Webber is always known for what happened in the national championship game against North Carolina when he called a timeout. Michigan didn't have any, and then of course Michigan lost that national title. Couple of things.
Yeah.
Haha, funny. We're not going at Chris Webber on his damn 50th birthday.
No, not my guy.
We're going after him after his 50th birthday.
I understand that Chris Webber game was far more important, a lot more on the line.
Yeah.
Right? Of course. But Chris Webber's was in this crazy panic end of game. Oh my God, there's chaos around you. Jaden Ivey was all right.
His teammates telling him to call timeout. Chris Webber.
Yeah, Chris Webber says, call timeout. He calls
Great
the timeout, panics, whatever. He's getting pressured. Jaden Ivey was on the inbound. Oh, I'm going to inbound here.
You got to just toss it in.
You're the point guard. You're not being pressured. There's no backcourt trap.
Hey, rookie brain.
You think Keegan Murray does that?
No way, Jose. Not in a million years. He would never.
Now it's happening on Friday.
Did you know I really did think about that, though, really quick? I was like, Keegan Murray would never let that happen.
I felt so bad for him because you looked over at the Bulls benches. Dwayne Casey drops on the scorer's table. Bogdanovich is like, what are you doing? Diallo's like, what are you? Everyone's just like, what the hell, man?
Yeah. No, it's I feel bad for anyone that makes that mistake, even if it's a Thursday night or a Wednesday night game. I don't care. You're in the NBA. It's on TV. People are watching. And
I don't know if anyone was actually watching Pistons Bulls last night.
Do you think we all only cared about that highlight and that was the only thing that we were all watching on social media after?
Yeah, yes.
And that's what makes it even worse, right? But so many people did link it to the Chris Webber situation, obviously, in college, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
It's just crazy because you're talking about Webber being a Detroit guy, his birthday, timeout, end of game. There's a lot of, the first thing I thought when I saw that was, I said Chris Webber on his birthday.
Not because of that, but are you so glad that the Kings went with Keegan Murray?
Of course I am, but it also doesn't mean that Jaden's not going to be he's done some nice things this year.
For sure.
He's on a really bad team. It's going to take him time. We watched enough of the pre-draft stuff where I always saw what people liked about Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
I just thought people were underestimating how long it's going to maybe take him to get there. All the stuff you hear is like, hey man, like if he gets the shot down and gets engaged defensively, then he's going to be a player. I just think there are some ifs out there. When I watched him play last year, I saw some of the issues.
Defensively, especially.
And you get why the Kings did not go that route, especially with this team. Like
especially with another point guard.
We want a guy that we believe is just as good, if not better, and can play right now, as opposed to someone who may take some time.
Yeah. No, I think when you look at that situation we talked about the other day for De'Aaron Fox, all the years that the Kings drafted another point guard after another point guard after another guard, guard after guard. And then when it came to this last draft, it just seemed like the national narrative again that Jaden Ivey was going to be the next Luka Doncic. And if the Kings didn't pick them, they were the stupidest people in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like so refreshing, so nice to see the Kings not only have a success with their team, but also with their rookie.
Well, also, not that you draft for need, you draft who you think is going to be the best player,
Correct.
right? Like if the Kings were like, hey, we're choosing between Keegan and Jaden Ivey, and we think Ivey can be a star in this league, well, then you probably should have taken him. But I think the Kings went, no, like we believe Keegan can be special. And what you're seeing lately with Keegan Murray, you're seeing what the tools he does have, and how he's developed this year. You're going, this guy can be special. He can be an all-star level talent.
Hey, Sato on our chat wants to know what was worse, was Jaden Ivey's horrible 3, the possession before the Bulls were actively trying to lose that game, or the Pistons had like 4 and 5 possessions to tie or take the lead and bricked it. Just some bad basketball going on.
Yeah.
But, that's what you're going to get at this time of the season too, with some of these teams that have guys injured, haven't been able to figure anything out, all the above.
Well, coming up next, we'll dive in a little bit to the Kings. We got Truth or Trash coming up next hour. Shaq had one of the worst player comparisons in the history of the game.
Classic.
It's bad.
Okay.
It is really bad.
Okay.
We'll talk about it coming up next. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
You were talking about it earlier. It does suck that it doesn't look like Eddie Kingston will be in San Francisco or Sacramento.
Yeah, that does suck. Hang on. I gotta.
But did you watch any of it or no?
I watched a little bit. Hold on, I have to figure this out real fast. Hold on one second. Yeah, hang on. We gotta turn on the mics for a second. All right. Hey, what's up, YouTube chat? Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Great show you got. It's not over. We're only an hour in. You're jinxing the show, Morgan would think, right?
Yeah, don't jinx the show or
I'll be
else.
right back after Tinkle.
Oh, it's tinkle time. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I love this. I love seeing Chris work his magic. Chris. Can I be? Only fools hold it in, 'cause I can't help having an accident. My favorite thing about yesterday, singing the New York P parody song.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of people that were complimenting me on my voice. Like, what? I don't hear it, and I appreciate the compliment. I don't hear it. I assume this is you trying to play it.
My machine is just.
Oh, I don't care. I think it's again, so kind. Yeah. Is that sad that hearing my own voice makes me laugh?
That's hilarious.
Am I going mad? Am I going to die? Well, we'll see. Voice of a generation, Morgan Reagan. You know it. That's
a generational talent.
You can hold notes though. Really? I don't, to me, I guess I don't know music well. So a note to me is like having control over being able to reach like a high pitch, but I guess a note can be low too. Combination of Fergie and Jesus. I got that yesterday. Yes, I know the reference, but thank you. I appreciate it. Fergie and Jesus. This is what I liked. Mo singing, probably good enough to get on America's Got Talent. Not good enough to make the next round. I don't even know if it's good enough to get on. Think about the people that get on America's Got Talent. Like they can sing. Like I'm like a mediocre karaoke singer.
Do you guys ever watch The Voice or seen The Voice?
Is that the one where they turn around in the chair?
Yeah.
I've never really seen it. I've seen like a clip.
I've watched it once and it's just like, oh, this is all fake.
Oh, it is?
Like they've got stuff written out. They've got zingers that they're putting out there and stuff. And it's just like, oh, this is awful.
Are you being serious?
I'm being dead serious.
But even when they do the thing where they click and turn the chair, is that fake?
No, I guess it's real.
I mean, like, do they know who's going to click and turn the chair?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Here we go.
Stand by.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Kevin Durant made his return to the floor and made his debut for the Phoenix Suns in a 105-91 win over the Hornets. Durant played 27 minutes and had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and shot 10 of 15 from the field. Sacramento Kings are off tonight. They'll be back in action tomorrow night when they host the Los Angeles Clippers, which you can listen to here on Sactown Sports. Clippers are in San Francisco tonight to take on the Warriors. Clippers are currently in the 6th seed and a game behind in the loss column to the Warriors, who sit in the 5th seed. ESPN Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that the Lakers are going to give LeBron some more time to get healthy. The Lakers now plan to reevaluate.
Yes.
Reevaluate.
Yes.
LeBron James' right foot tendon injury in 3 weeks. It is 12 o'clock. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo.
On Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan, Chris Verlod. Morgan, there's always like words for me that I get stuck. Like Chris just got stuck on reevaluate. What's one word that you get stuck on?
You know what it is. It's
I don't.
come on. I always have a hard time, particularly.
Yeah,
I said it though, right? Yeah.
You said it very slow.
Yeah, because I have to.
Particularly.
Yeah, particularly. Toxicity. That one's hard.
You should know that one
No, I do.
because
I've been around it. Yes.
no, because you kind of bring that.
No, it's
to
been
the show.
no, it's been brought. It's been brought in.
Hey, well, Bobby Jackson, Stockton Kings head coach, joining us at 1 p.m. It's been a
And
while
now
since
he
we
is
caught up.
reevaluating coming on with us.
No, he's in.
Oh, he's in.
Yeah.
He's confirmed. He's confirmed. Yeah.
He's confirmed.
Stockton Kings with a game tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Bobby because he's been coaching the Stockton Kings team now for a couple of
Mhm.
years. I'm curious, like, how he likes being a head guy. Like, how has he developed? And he's had a chance to see Keon Ellis up close. Also, the vibes around the city right now are crazy. Bobby is someone that connected deeply with this city. He played here, left, came back, and now he's a home in Sacramento. Why does he like staying in Sacramento so much?
Yeah, I'm curious about that, and I'm just curious about him, like you were kind of saying, how he's grown as a coach. Because over the years, it's been fun being around him and seeing the way that he does coach, that he does communicate with people, whether it's other coaches, whether it's young players, and when you're coaching a G League squad, there's so much turnover, there's so much youth that
Well, here's a great example of this.
What?
The Blazers don't have a G League team.
Yes.
So they did a flex transfer where they sent John Butler, who's a rookie,
Mm-hmm.
and he's with Stockton right now. So you're trying to develop a guy who is with another organization, right? And it's last minute, you got to find a way to implement him, get him caught up on what you're doing. And he may not be here super long. So it's just interesting. There's a lot to juggle as a G League coach for sure. You're right.
Yeah. So anyway, all those things will be fun to kind of discuss with him, and then we'll get to see him coach on the sideline tonight.
Dude, I cannot wait for tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
Night, Kings Clippers.
Oh, well, no, I was just like, wait, what? The way that you.
I was just moving on. Do you have more to add?
No. The way that you positioned it, I was like, oh, what's tomorrow? Like in my mind, it's like the day comes and then the night comes, because the days and nights are just so long and there's always so much, and every single day I just didn't know where to start. So I'm also excited for tomorrow night.
Rematch with the Clippers. Those guys better play tomorrow night. If I'm the Clippers, if I'm Kawhi and Paul, I want to play tomorrow night.
Yeah. So
Don't you?
well,
From a competitive
Okay.
standpoint, based on what happened last Friday.
Does Kawhi, though?
I don't know, man.
I know that's.
I don't
Chris,
even know if Kawhi is competitive
Stop
I
it.
think
or
he's-
likes basketball.
No,
Stop
I think
it.
that's just a misconception because of his body language.
That's like what people say about Keegan too. It's like, hey, no emotion. It's
Yeah.
like the guy just plays basketball.
Yeah, and some people don't need it. But what I will say though, Chris, is that you bringing that up, like, is he that competitive? Like maybe that competitive fire isn't there for a regular season game on a Friday night after being the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, I will say that. I think in the playoffs, Kawhi wants to win,
Yeah.
and he wants to do everything he can to win.
Yes. But on a Friday night, maybe not.
I'm looking at the Clippers, his game log with the Clippers this year to double check, because not that they've had a ton of back-to-back opportunities, but they had one January 28th and 29th. He played the first game of the back-to-back, did not play the next night. And I'm scanning down. They haven't had another opportunity to play a back-to-back recently, but the last time they did have a back-to-back, he did not play in the second night of a back-to-back. There's also been stretches where they had a game on the 8th. He did not play on the 10th. They gave him off till the 14th. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if Kawhi plays or not on Friday.
So from a Sacramento Kings point of view, I want them to play because it's fun. But from like a fan point of view, I kind of don't want them to play because I want the W.
You got the W when he played last time.
Yeah, you just had to go to 2 overtimes.
Yeah, but you still did it on the road. Like, you want to go head to head with a legitimate competition because if you do play the Clippers in the playoffs, Kawhi Leonard's playing. And so you got to be ready for that.
You know how Kings are with a little bit of rest, and they've had a lot of rest before this Friday game, Deuce. Come on now.
I think that's just misguided.
How?
I just don't think, I understand their record with the rest advantage is not great.
Yeah.
I don't think it's because they have rest that they're bad. I just think they've just not won games. I don't think that's the reason.
Yeah, obviously it doesn't make a lot of sense, but at the same time, too, it could be if you wanted to go the angle like guys just do better when they're warmed up, they're already in a flow of things. When they have those 2 days off, it's like they have to not reteach themselves, but for example, when you're at an office, if you work in an office space and someone comes up to you and goes, "Hey, Morgan, how was your weekend?" And then you're working and then you turn and go, "Oh my gosh, it was good. Thanks for asking." And then you have a little convo. Getting back into your work, there's like some sort of study out there that it takes like 7 minutes to get refocused into that work.
On a different scale, though, if you're playing the Kings playing 3 games in 4 nights, you're working a ton of hours. You're working 14-hour days. A day off helps you.
I agree with that. I'm just saying that the record just hasn't.
I just don't think it has to do with that. I don't. It just feels. I don't understand how that would throw you off. I think part of it is, you know what? This league is very competitive. The Western Conference is just competitive, and they just happen to lose some of these games.
It's just a thought.
I don't like it.
Oh,
I can see that trash.
Yeah,
put it in the trash.
Like, man, Deuce Mason.
Shaquille O'Neal says some funny things. Do you have any guesses who he compared Anthony Edwards to?
No.
And just any guess.
Who would you compare Anthony Edwards to?
I don't know.
Okay, let me think. An actor. Let's see.
Past or present?
I think he's talking about a player.
Okay,
like not who he
a
looks
player.
like, Morgan.
No, I wasn't going to go with who he looks like. I was just going to say like personality-wise. I don't know. Let's see, a player who reminds
6'4". Someone in the chat says silent says D Wade. You could see some D Wade as that 6'4" guard.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, here's who Shaq compared him to the other day.
He's great now. He's not great now, but I think he's a fabulous player. But where I come from, and watching people like Candace and Jamal, you have to be great for a long period of time because we all remember Jeremy Lin. What happened to him? Just saying, y'all was giving him. I'm not shooting shot. I'm just saying, like y'all was. Oh, he's a great player, and y'all give him the Sports Illustrated cover. But when reality kicked in,
Sorry, Jeremy. Liz at home chilling.
Y'all put that man on Sports Illustrated.
I'm just simply saying, but
Jeremy Lin was an incredible run. I was working in Kentucky. I didn't put him anywhere.
But in order to be great, you have to be great for a consistent period of time. Not 1 week, not 1 month, not 1 year.
Just to be clear, Anthony Edwards' first 3 seasons in the NBA, his career averages are 21 points, 5 rebounds, just under 4 assists. He's shooting 44% in his career, 35%. This season, his average is just under 25 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 46% shooting, 36% from 3, and he made the All-Star team.
Why would
real flash in the pan type of stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, Shaq's comparison is so off. Like, I'm trying to think of now a comparison of a guy that's like, hey, he was good for a little bit, but not for that long. Anthony Edwards is young. His career has just started, basically, and he's been playing at a high level on a team that also has been like mixing around things and trying new identities and trying to find the way that they want to play their game. But it's just, that is bizarre. And I'm glad that they called him out on it.
Yeah, I think that's the one area where, as much as I love Inside the NBA on TNT, I know that wasn't from Inside the NBA, but, with Charles, Shaq, and Kenny, it's entertaining. I just think Shaq's a great example of a player who lives so much off what he did. An incredible career, the championships. He's got so much going on, so many outside interests. You see him on a weekend, he's DJing, he's doing a Papa John's event, he's doing this.
Love it.
He's everywhere, making appearances, and then he shows up and does like Tuesday and Thursday on TNT. I don't think he watches the league.
Thank you.
Like, he's not sitting at home if he's got an off night on a Monday night. I don't think he gets an off night. I think he's like doing things where he's not sitting down going, I'm going to check in on Minnesota and the Clippers tonight.
Yeah.
Unless he's doing the game for TNT.
And not only that, like you said, kind of going off of his way of playing and remembering his days, he hasn't embraced the new ways, the new day and age of the NBA. And it's like, you have to do that if you are going to analyze it the correct way. So for him, not only not having time to watch it, but also not embracing the new style of the NBA and where it's evolved to. Yeah, no, that's why that is his comparison.
Yeah, I just think a lot of the stuff he says comes across as like he's just lazy and he puts out those random narratives that don't make sense. Like Jeremy Lin? How are you comparing it to Linsanity?
And I think in his mind, you guys, okay, if we got into Shaq's mind, this is where I think, you'd see like Icy Hot, you'd see some DJing,
The General.
You'd see the General, like you'd see a few things. And then finally, boom, you get here to the basketball part of his brain. And all he was trying to connect was that Jeremy Lin was good for a small period of time, Linsanity, and that Anthony Edwards has been good for, a small amount of time, but for some reason compared those timelines together when they are still very, very different.
Yeah, and he's just be better. Like, you have a national platform. If you're too busy to do this, stop doing it. That's how I look at it. We'll talk some more hoops coming up. I cannot believe that was his comp today. It was just, it's just wild. Also, DeMarcus Cousins said something about Sacramento. This is proof why Sacramento is different too. We'll talk about it. Let's do some more on Sactown Sports. YouTube chat. Let's get to 150 thumbs up. Can we get there?
Can we get there?
Also, there's a report that's just coming out, and it's going to be one of those long ESPN pieces.
Yeah.
That drop in the middle of the show. Baxter Holmes, who does a lot of investigative reporting for ESPN, just wrote a huge piece on load management and how it's not really a proven thing in the NBA, and how the bigger issue happens to be that these children are playing too much of one sport, basketball, a ton of tournaments, and there's children as young as 10 having like ACL repairs, and how they almost come to the league broken.
Wow.
It's a long piece, so it's not one. I mean, maybe we'll.
Yeah, I would love to talk more about that, because I played youth sports so long ago, and it was a different time.
But did you just play basketball or other sports?
So
That's my bad. Here we go.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce Mo on Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. We are live Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 here on Sactown Sports. Make sure you check out the website for a ton of content. Same with the app, Sactown Sports app, or go to SactownSports.com. Frankie Cardicelli, who covers the Kings at Kings practice right now, will probably learn in just a bit Fox's status for tomorrow night's game against the LA Clippers. Other stuff you could check out on the website. I know we got a UFC preview, but also the news that we announced yesterday, the 49ers now have a new home. It is Sactown Sports.
Ew.
So check out SactownSports.com. DeMarcus Cousins was on with Rachel Nichols on the Showtime show.
Yeah.
Talking about Sacramento and how they're doing this year. DeMarcus had some nice things to say about Kings fans.
To see that team now doing well, to see the light, the beam, and the excitement and all of that, how does that feel for you?
It's dope. I'm just happy for the city and the fans because they really deserve it. Like that's an incredible fan base. They literally they're the definition of like sticking through it through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Cowbells ringing with 10 wins in the season. So, incredible fan base. They're more than deserving. So I'm excited for them. I'm excited to see where this team goes as well.
That'll be interesting.
And obviously I'm a Fox fan. That's
yeah.
Monk too. Those my UK brothers. So,
yeah.
Stoked to see them doing that.
You know what I think is cool though? DeMarcus, of course, we don't need to like relive the roller coaster ride of his time in Sacramento, but I think that's the one thing, even if you didn't like get down with Sacramento completely, I think the great majority of players who come here have nothing but good things to say about like the vibes in Sacramento and playing here. And I think it speaks volumes when you have all these former players who still like live in town, even if they didn't have the great success and win 60 games, like they like this fan base.
Yeah. I mean, the fans here do nothing but support the hell out of these guys, and the guys that either don't buy in or don't give it back, whether it's effort on the floor or just like love in the city, they get treated differently by fans, right? But like you think about someone like Harry Giles, for example, did not even have success here as an individual or with a team, but because of the way that he connected as a human being with people within this city, businesses and everything else, just being the good person that he is, he will just always be so loved.
Do you think the Kings, do fans matter for players when they're looking for a new home? I would say normally no, but I think if you have a good team and in addition to that, you have like a connected, loyal fan base and the environment's hot, it has to be like a bonus, right?
That's what I was going to say. Cause I think no matter what, it's like the money trumps all, right? It's just like, okay, that's what people are looking for is the big contract because in the NBA, you're getting paid no matter what. Then maybe it's like looking at the organization, teammates, whatever. Then you factor in the fans as a bonus. And I think if you're someone like maybe like a Ben Simmons though, it's something that you really do want to look at. It's something that really could factor into your game and you look at and you go, I need to be somewhere where I'm not going to be just hounded or treated like complete crap.
The Ben Simmons stuff, he's out indefinitely. There's no timetable on his return.
No time. I think the Nets are going to sit him out the rest of the season.
He's under contract next year too. Like
for how much? That's what I want to know.
50 something, right? Let me double check here. Okay, it's not that much. I was way off. So he makes 37.8 next year. 40.3 the year after that. So yeah, a combined almost $78 million combined. So who's trading for that?
Why did
you know where he should go?
What? Where?
If they could work something out, San Antonio.
Why?
Because there's no pressure. They're in a rebuilding mode. Maybe they get a top pick. You're with Popovich. You're not dealing with the New York media, the Philly media. You can just worry about trying to get comfortable again. His drop off, and I know some of it's injury related with the back and stuff.
Yeah.
But this is wild. This is wild that a guy, even if you weren't a Simmons fan prior to all this, he's in his own head. He doesn't play the same. And he was already limited from a shooting perspective.
Oof. Dude, you and I were talking about this the other day. And I think we were like, oh yeah, we'll talk about Ben Simmons at some point this week. And you're like, man, I was saying something before the season.
Oh my God. Okay, you guys, Chris, you're gonna laugh at this. So before the season, I think we were about to do a podcast and I was gonna do like NBA bold predictions. And I had it written down. I was like, but I didn't go with it. One of my bold predictions was going to be before the season, Ben Simmons All-Star.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just felt like I thought, okay, you know what? And you know what got me on it?
What?
JJ Redick's interview.
I was just going to say the interview.
It was such an interesting interview. And I'm like, okay, he seems like he's in a good spot. But again, you go into a Brooklyn situation that was absolutely chaotic. Now it seems like it's less chaotic, right? Because like Jacques Vaughn's the guy going forward. They have a squad, but now they're at a point like we don't know how to use you. I think he just needs a new home. I'm not done with him. I just can't go, he is completely done as a player. I think he can still be an impactful player. He'll never live up now to making $37 or $40 million a year, but a guy his size, his defensive skills, back in the day, like his ability to attack the rim with authority, set guys up. Now he passes up layups. There's something going on, and I don't know, a place I'm trying to think of a place like smaller market where he can kind of just work on things in San Antonio with a guy like Pop who has a resume with a young team. That could be a good rehabilitation spot for him.
So sure. And I it is so interesting too, because before the season, there's a lot of people, I think it was in the preseason or whenever he was playing, and he had missed a free throw pretty bad. And then people were just like, same old Ben Simmons taking off right where he left off or whatever. And it was frustrating. I'm like, why are we going with that narrative early on? Like, let it, like he was still a playmaker making some, you see the way he can still pass the ball. His vision is incredible. When he is playing defense, like he's a big body and looks good out there. His impact on the floor is not the same. And it makes me sad as someone who loves basketball so much. I feel bad for someone to lose like all their powers. Like it's almost like Space Jam when the NBA players truly lose all of their skills and cannot play anymore. That feels like Ben Simmons.
And even if there is a physical component to what is happening with him, or what was happening with him, there's zero doubt that mentally right now he's going through it, dude. And it is sad because I know social media can get like toxic. Sometimes we like to clown on players, but sorry, I like Ben Simmons when he was right. And even though he was flawed, he was a fun player to watch. And to see someone who's clearly going through it, just can't get out of it. You're like, man, you just don't want his journey to end in a bad way.
And you say that there's a place for him, and you say like, yeah, you know, Spurs, you look at the media and just like low profile there, boom, sounds nice. Do teams truly at this point, would you want him on the Sacramento Kings?
Well, no, because the Kings are in a different position, but the Spurs could have cap space. They could take him on and just like, all right, let's just see what he has. I don't know, but you're right. With the amount of money he makes, no, I would not.
Yeah.
I would not, because and the Kings wouldn't be able to really pull off a trade like that. I don't see the fit.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, it's rough. Well, coming up next, it's a return of truth or trash.
Ooh.
We got a ton of topics. We'll tell you if they're truth or trash. You can submit your own too. Hit us up 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We're always live at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. What's up?
Really quick.
Yeah. We've got Bobby Jackson coming up at 1, by the way. Let's see if there's any updates from Kings practice yet. They're supposed to have media availability around noon, but that usually means like closer to 12:30. So we should learn more soon. You know, another guy I feel really bad for as we talk about Ben Simmons.
Woohoo.
Lonzo Ball, dude.
Well, that's why even when we were talking about the Bulls and the Pistons, I just kept thinking about him and what his career is now going to look like. Bizarre.
I mean, he's had 2 surgeries now.
Well,
and he's had trouble walking. And then LaMelo gets
that's
hurt
what I was going to
on a non-contact injury. It's crazy. Roger says, I dare you guys to ask David Patrick about Ben Simmons. I know he's got a relationship with him, but like honestly, to me, we're excited to have Mark Campbell and David Patrick on the show tomorrow. It's more about Sac State, you know, like let's celebrate them. One, they don't get enough shine locally all the time. And all of a sudden we have David Patrick. We're like, hey, let's talk some Ben Simmons. Hey, what about Mike Brown going to your practice? It's like, yeah, those are cool, like interesting things, but like they're getting ready to, you know, they had a really good regular season, both squads of men and women. So I think we'll highlight that on Friday.
Yeah, no, I think it's about celebrating them and, you know, as they continue their success, it's something that we can keep building that relationship though.
Mohammed wants to know, who would you rather have the Kings play in the first round, Warriors or Suns? Warriors.
Yeah. Sorry that for some reason I was still thinking Mavs in my head, and then I started thinking about what Boogie was saying about the Mavs in that same conversation that
that's when I stopped liking Boogie.
I didn't play that. We can play that later on
next,
the show
or
we'll
later.
Get truth or trash.
Yeah, later. Play it later.
So I didn't hear it.
You didn't?
No.
I sent it to you on Instagram because I was like, what is he? You know, he was so nice at first, and then when he started talking about them, I'm like, oh, he don't watch either. Because like he, you know, he was acting like the Mavs. Oh, well, they would for sure.
We can do that
Kings.
coming out of the break.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Stingers up. Let's go. Stingers up.
Dude, crazy about the Eddie Kingston stuff. And so many people, like there's this one other site or Twitter account that's like a wrestling account. And they used one of the quotes from our interview with Eddie Kingston.
I should have asked a follow-up. He was doing he was doing a storyline at the end of that. I'm coming to Sacramento. I don't know what my future is. I do that every time.
Played us.
Stand by. We'll come back early, no?
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Kevin Durant made his return to the floor and made his debut for the Phoenix Suns in a 105-91 win over the Hornets. Durant played 27 minutes, had 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and shot 10 of 15 from the field. Sacramento Kings are off today. They'll be back in action tomorrow night when they host the Los Angeles Clippers. Clippers are in San Francisco tonight to take on the Warriors, and LA are currently in the 6th seed and a game behind the loss column to the Warriors, who sit in the 5th seed. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that the Lakers are going to give LeBron some more time to get healthy. Lakers now plan to reevaluate LeBron James' right foot tendon injury in 3 weeks. It is 12:28. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more of Deuce and Mo.
It's Deuce and Mo on your local sports leader.
Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan, or Reagan. I cannot. Too many days off between Kings games. I like the rest, a day off, but I just crave a little basketball. I'm ready to be at Golden One Center tomorrow night for Kings Clippers.
Yeah, I crave it, but I also appreciate, you know, little breakage. I really missed it after All-Star. All-Star, I was like, oh, I need this in my life, but it's nice to have a little breather.
Oh, I watched that movie you suggested to me.
No, you did not.
Yes, I did.
Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Mm-hmm.
And what'd you think?
That was great.
Sorry, Deuce, taking over really quick just to say that. Seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Did you cry?
No.
Ugh.
I like you said, I watched that movie like as if it's not like some mega movie. I mean, it was a huge movie.
But I always mess
I don't
up.
watch movies
I
I've
always,
seen it.
I always throw it like everything at this time.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's going to start.
Great movie. It's a great movie. Absolutely.
I cried. I laughed. All of the above.
In the chat, during the break, someone was asking us who would you rather face in the first round. Muhammad was wondering the Warriors or the Suns. I love that we're to that point of the year where people are like, hey, who do you want to face in the first round? Where before the season, it'd be like, I don't care. Just give me one playoff game.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But now we're like, all right, this is real now. You're in the top 6. Who would you want to face? We talked about DeMarcus Cousins on Showtime with Rachel Nichols and Paul Pierce. Apparently, he had some things to say about potential Dallas Kings series. Is that what it was,
Yeah.
Chris? He's talking about the potential of a Kings-Mavs playoff series. Here's what Boogie had to say.
I mean, I know a lot of people think, oh, well, look, in the playoffs, we all know you got to be battle tested. And sometimes a team has to go
Playoffs
through a
is
first round loss to learn. But
Yeah.
I still think that they could be dangerous in the playoffs for at least a round. No?
We'll see.
I think so.
The bench is shaky.
It depends
That
on
bench
who they
is
catch in the
shaky.
first
Well, yes.
round.
Yes. And we've got teams at the bottom of the West bracket who could potentially turn it on for the playoffs in a way that we have not seen in a long time. So we will see.
Like if they get Dallas, they'll pop Dallas.
You think so?
If they end up with like Golden State, I'm like,
No.
oh no, I'm
Yeah.
scared.
They'll pop Dallas.
Yeah, Sack will. Yeah, Dallas don't play no defense.
Look at his face. Can we show his
They don't
face?
play no defense.
Guarding Luka.
Nobody.
So who's playing defense beside?
I know one thing. Dallas is not playing no defense.
Thank you, Paul.
Right.
And Sack can't outscore Dallas.
Yeah, they can.
With who?
We gonna see. We're gonna get back to that.
Sacramento
We gonna
just
get
played
back
a game worth the second most points in
to
NBA
it. Listen,
history.
they just scored 175 points.
That's cute.
76.
That's cute.
Show me one in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yep.
Come on,
Like
Boogie.
he was doing good.
You know
but
what
he
it
always
is?
does
You know
it.
what it is with DeMarcus?
What?
He truly loves Kings fans and the fan base.
That's it.
The team, he
Can't
He
stand.
can't because of what happened, and I get it. He felt like he got played, whatever. We don't need to go rewind and go over that, but it's just interesting. Like, they could definitely outscore the Mavs.
Yeah.
They are the number 1 scoring team in the league.
And where are the Mavs defensively?
Yeah, and that's the thing. As good as the Kings are offensively, I'm not naive. Like, in the playoffs, it's going to be more challenging when you
Sure.
take on a Clippers or the Suns or even like like the Grizzlies, right? Teams that are more experienced in playing postseason games. But the Mavs, to me, are one of the biggest. They have some of the biggest flaws of any team in the West. Yeah, they've got 2 studs out there, but around that, serious question marks. I'm not in on the Mavs
And
at all.
not only the question marks surrounding that, but like the 2 studs are still trying to figure it out.
Yeah,
2
yeah.
ball dominant guys that, want to make sure that they're including everyone in their games, but at the same time trying to figure out what their style of play is with some other ball dominant guys. So it's interesting.
Chris sent me this. I did see this on social media too. There's a YouTube channel called Pick a Side Podcast.
Yeah.
Very familiar with them. Young guys, it's a little first take-ish for me.
Okay.
No, it is. Like, I think they do great work. I love that how they do a show, like how they market it,
Yeah.
their YouTube page and all that. They were talking about Kings Mavs yesterday, and here's how that went down.
There is a world that the Kings could beat the Dallas Mavericks in round one.
No, there's zero world.
You guys say that because of
Mavs
Luka
don't play
Doncic.
defense.
That's
There is-
exactly
hold on.
right.
No.
Let me
No
finish.
way.
Let me finish because I just let you guys speak. Let me finish.
The long shots, but that's their best matchup.
Who's
probably.
favored? The Dallas Mavericks.
By far.
Why? Because of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. So what you guys are doing and why you guys are having a stroke right now is for the fact that Luka Doncic goes into playoff series and is by far the best player in that series. Understandable. Outside of Kyrie and Luka, this team is not good.
Christian Wood stinks.
He's mid.
You force Sabonis to his right hand, the Kings are done. He can't go right. He won't double right. Like, he's chopped off that hand. So while he's great now in the regular season, that's another issue. Kind of like Julius Randle in the Hawks series where, dude, if you just scheme up against them in a 7-game series and you put them to the stretch test, it is over. Luka could sweep them.
The
more
only
likely to go
the
to
only
7.
the only difference is
Oh, no.
Sabonis is an amazing playmaker. And I believe that in those situations, he'll be able to find the right pass. And the way that the Kings offense is so free flowing, the way that they move without the basketball, it allows me to feel a little bit more confident in the Kings there.
Sabonis can't go right. Yeah, that every coach in the league is going, you know what? We'll wait till the playoffs to address this.
Yeah, it's force Sabonis to go right when we're in the playoffs. Don't
Yeah.
do it in the regular season.
And then then it's over.
It's
The Kings fans went after them a little bit yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, it was a big thing on social
Kings
media.
Twitter was all over
Some
it.
of the responses were pretty funny from Kings fans. They were going at these guys a little bit for their take on it.
what? Like what?
I'm scrolling through the comments right
Okay.
now to see some of them. They were making me laugh earlier.
God, yeah, and I mean, I understand. I thought that one guy, the guy that was hosting, did a good job of being realistic with his analysis when he was kind of breaking down, hey, they're free flowing offense. I mean, it's a high powered offense, right? It's a high powered offense going up against I don't even know where Dallas is defensively with their.
They've dropped this year.
Yeah,
Significantly.
their defensive rating. I could just look it up. Thanks, Deuce. But it's not great. And on top of that, like we just mentioned, yes, you are playing against one of the best players in the league in Luka Doncic and one of the best ball handlers in the league, Kyrie Irving. And I only put that on him because I go, what are they together offensively? What we've seen so far they haven't been able to play at their best ability on the offensive end.
And the Mavs, by the way, are currently 23rd in defensive rating.
There we go. Okay.
The Kings are 25th.
Yes.
So it's pretty close.
Yeah, but
and if you went like last 10 games, yeah, they're both bad defensively.
You know how many times I feel like I have not been confident whenever someone goes, oh, if the Kings and the Mavs played in the first round, I'm not confidently sitting here and going, oh, yeah, the Kings got that one in the bag. I don't feel that way. I feel like the Mavs, with the experience that they have as well, like it could get scary. And Christian Wood is someone who can come in, obviously get his, but then there's times where he's so inefficient and he's so inconsistent that you just don't know what you're going to get in a 7-game series with him.
And you're going to get this work in the postseason.
Christian Wood is just not someone I'm going to be concerned about because his own team doesn't trust him.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at his minutes played, in February, he's playing 19 minutes. That's nothing. In January, Morgan, he played 34 minutes a night. He went from playing 34 minutes to playing 19, where they're going, you're just trying to do you too much. There's too many mistakes. And that's been the rap on Christian Wood.
Yep.
There's a reason Wood's bounced around the league. It's not because he's not talented. It's because he doesn't always play team ball. It's because it's inconsistent defensively. Decision-making is not great. Bad attitude. You can't count on that in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The other thing with the Mavs, as great as Luka is, he's not in shape. And the temperament, not there either. So you can go ahead and tell me that he's the best player in the series. Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. But you don't just win series based on that, especially when you take on a Kings team that's high octane and has so many offensive weapons.
And it's not even about a team playing Christian Wood off the floor. It's about Christian Wood playing himself off the floor. Just like you said, trying to once he gets hot and gets going, he keeps looking for his. And it's like, they got to figure out a way with all these guys that want to be ball dominant to play some sort of free-flowing team offense.
Right. Well, we got Bobby Jackson coming up at 1 p.m.
Hell yeah.
today. Excited to talk to Bobby and get his perspective on how things are going. He's a head coach in the G.
I'm so I feel like for as much as we see Bobby on the sideline, we always get eye contact, but we never actually really get to have discussions anymore. So yeah, excited.
In the YouTube chat, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Appreciate you guys being there. If you haven't, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you click the like button. It just helps the channel grow. Big John says, hot take, Luka needed Brunson more than Brunson needed Luka. Jalen Brunson last night, did you see what he did?
Was that last night
that was last night against the Nets. He had 39 points. He missed 3 shots. He's 15 of 18. That guy should have been an all-star.
Oh, look,
he should have been an all-star.
Right there up on the TV.
The Knicks. I can't wait. That's going to be a big game. Knicks and Knicks.
Wow.
The Knicks and Knicks.
The
Knicks and
Knicks
Kings coming
and
up
Kings.
in Sacramento on TNT next week.
Can't
All
wait.
right, we got Truth or Trash coming up next. Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. We're at 156 thumbs up. Not bad. Not bad. Should get that to about 200. You don't mind?
200 would be nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I was talking to a friend on Sunday,
And
I don't know, somehow Bobby Jackson got up. He's like, "Oh yeah, he's my guy. He's my guy." And he's like, "I got his number too." And he showed me the number. I'm like, "That's not his number." He's like, "Yeah, it is." I'm like, "It's not." And he's like, "No, but like we're cool and stuff like that." I'm like, "All right, whatever." And then he said, so then he messages him on Instagram and he's like, "Hey, these fools don't think I don't know you." And Bobby actually messaged him back on Instagram and said, "I don't know you."
no. What did your friend say after that? Was he embarrassed?
Oh yeah, he was super embarrassed. So he just messaged me, like, because he heard that Bobby's coming on. He messaged me, "Can you talk some blank to Bobby for me when you call him?"
He doesn't know who you are.
I responded, "Why? He doesn't know you."
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Kind of cute, but sad.
And so like to the same thing, like Bobby, I've talked to Bobby when he used to do like pregame and stuff in Kings. Like we know each other.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna be like messaging him saying like, "Hey Bobby, you know me, right?" Like
Dude, no, there's it's yeah. You know what's funny? There's like with Chris Webber, because I've met him a few times now, but anytime I see him again, I always start with, "Hi, you probably don't remember me, blah, blah, blah." And he'll always say, like, "Of course I do." And I'm always like, "It's okay if you don't."
He doesn't.
He did comment on one of my Instagram posts this year.
How many times has he been on our podcast or show?
We did ask him one time and no response.
And what did we get?
Crickets.
Crickets.
That's okay. He's Chris freaking
did he?
Webber.
It would be funny if he like a few days later messaged you back the cricket emoji.
I'd be like, noted. Point taken.
Does it make you feel old when you see that Chris Webber turned 50?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, I'm like, oh, you know what?
That's it?
I was more like 50, and I'm way younger than him.
I was like 50. We could have gotten married.
And see, I just go, it's just crazy. Like time flies. It's like he is 50 years old.
Yeah. 50 and
he was like 24 when he came to Sacramento.
I never realized that he was that. I was so young that I always just thought like, wow.
It is funny how people like, if you look at pictures from like the 90s, 80s or whatever,
looked older.
No matter what.
You'll be looking at them and like, yeah, I was 25 here. I'm like, you were 42, 100%. Especially when you go way deep, you go like to like early 1900s.
Yeah.
Those people went through some stuff. You're like, how are you 27? Oh, I have 4 kids by now. Like
it's insane.
It's like 27, bald,
Yes.
4 kids.
Oh, that's why you got to make sure to, you know, wear what you want, do what you want, style your hair the way you want. You know what I mean? Like some people go like, they need to dress their age. And it's like, no, they don't. No, they don't.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
One of our favorites, Bobby Jackson, joining us at 1 p.m. It's Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan. If you're listening in your car, 11:40 a.m., appreciate you. We're live and local Monday through Friday, 6 a to 6 p. Make sure if you get home or if you're driving around, hell, on your phone.
Yeah.
You got the YouTube feed, man. YouTube. You could chat with other fans at youtube.com/.
Yeah.
youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Ton of fans in there. It's cool because now this like community is kind of building on this page.
Yeah.
And you're seeing familiar faces come in every day. And it's like we're all just kind of hanging out together, you know?
That's what and that's what I was hoping this would be like in the middle of the day when we first took on this gig was like, okay, you guys, we have like a lot of different things that we do, but this in the middle of the day, I need it to be like we're all hanging out and chatting. And that's why having the live stream and having people comment away, whether it's about sinus infections, Shaq saying something dumb or, you know, whatever else about the Kings, it's great.
Yeah.
And so I really, really appreciate you guys being here.
Well, We have not done this week because we were off on Tuesday.
What?
We usually do it on
Ooh.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's Thursday. It's time for Truth or Trash.
We tell you what's real and what's downright garbage. It's Truth or Trash.
Truth or Trash.
With Deuce and Mo.
All right, Morgan, first one. If the Kings make the playoffs, you'll cry.
Truth.
You think you're going to cry?
Oh.
Like that night, you think talking about it, you'll tear up?
I cried when they put a Depog chain on the G-Man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to cry when the Kings make the playoffs. 1 billion %. It's just I'm an emotional person, and Deuce, the thing that this team has done such a great job of this year is made us all feel like we're a part of the team.
Yeah.
You know, that's something we haven't felt over the years of bad basketball and just like the disconnect. This year, more than ever, every time they celebrate in that locker room and they have that fog machine on, I can smell it. I swear I can smell it.
Well, you won't be anymore because your sinus issues.
You sure?
Yeah. I'm going to say trash. I don't think I'd cry. I think I'm going to be too amped up and fired up.
Oh,
you think I'm going to cry?
You're a little baby. You're going to cry.
I'm not afraid to cry.
You're a little baby.
I'm not even saying it like, hey, I'm a man. I don't cry.
I know.
I'm an alpha. Alphas don't cry.
We don't have emotion.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, I think I'll be too
Like
happy
yeah.
and like, I don't know. I don't think I'd cry.
Chris, are you going to cry?
No.
Save this though, because
Yeah.
Me
night
and
chat?
Deuce are just going to be bawling.
And I'm like, what are you guys crying about? Yeah, no, I will. I say I'm going to cry, but I don't know. It just feels like, they say a playoff berth, BERTH. It's like a
I don't like that either.
birth. What?
How playoff berth is BE.
Yeah, why is it?
Yeah, why?
Truth or trash. Look at this up.
A ship's allotted
It's a
place
Google
at a
thing now.
wharf or dock, a fixed bed or bunk on a ship, train. Yeah, it should just be berth. Like, yeah,
No, I think it's like a birth, like you're sending the ship out.
I think it's more of a baby
It means
coming
to
out.
bring something, usually ship into a place where it can stay. Yeah, I don't. So like,
So it's birthing into the playoffs.
but it's like you're not even staying in the playoffs if you get knocked out. So what do you call that?
Knocked out.
Yeah.
Next up on Truth or Trash, Morgan.
Yeah.
There's no debate. Mike Brown is the NBA's coach of the year.
Well, I'll go trash because there's debate, even though I think he's coach of the year. And the debate that I would say is obviously Celtics head coach. And I look at their situation and everything that they've been through this year, and it's still incredible whether you have a team that made the finals last year or not to handle the adversity that you had to handle at the beginning of the year and what your team is doing right now in this season with their success. Like, it's the debate, but Mike Brown and the Kings making the playoffs this year is the answer.
Yeah, to me, it's clear, it's truth. And Missoula deserves love for coming in a tough situation and steering the ship. But let's not lose sight of how talented that team was.
Sure.
Ime Udoka, it's not like he was there for 7 years and built a foundation. Boom.
Right.
It went from Brad Stevens, Udoka for a year, slow start, made the finals, lost to Missoula, who's carried this team on with two legitimate talents in Tatum and Brown, plus everything around him, the depth. They were going to be good. Like, I understand that. I'm not trying to minimize what they've accomplished, but I think what Mike Brown's accomplished in this turnaround has been far more significant than what the Celtics have accomplished this year.
Do you think the Missoula youth thing is something that factors in too for people when they like look at the situation? They go, that's so cool.
Oh, like, yeah, he's 34 years old.
Right.
So I'm sure it does. I just think when you look at where the Kings have been the last 16 years, it's not only making the playoffs and ending a drought. They're in the number 3 spot.
Yeah.
They've got the best offense in the NBA. And this is off the heels of last year when the offense was not good and the defense was bad. They had 2 all-stars. It's clear he has changed the culture here. And I think most people around the league feel the same way. I honestly don't even think it's close. I'm not saying there are other candidates. Missoula's one. Will Hardy's one. I think some people would make the case for Michael Malone in Denver being a coach of the year candidate. To me, it's like, yeah, they're in the mix, but there is a clear-cut favorite. It's Mike Brown.
How fun is that? How fun is that to feel that confidence in that?
Adrian says, so we're just 100% certain we are making the playoffs. I'm not going to say 100%, but the Kings are in a good position to make the playoffs. I'm not
like 89%.
That's a very scientific thing, right? You calculate some things.
I did the math, and then when you put it in these certain columns, it makes sense that 89.
Morgan's emotions, everything. Put it
That's
up in the jar.
interesting. I just ran some numbers,
Yeah?
and I've got the Kings at making the playoffs at 106%.
Oh God. Well, take another math
Well,
class.
if you look at the loss column,
Oh, here we go.
Kings with 25 losses.
Uh-huh.
Other teams behind them, Phoenix has 29 losses. Golden State with 30, the Clippers with 31, Dallas 31, Minnesota 32. I mean, the Kings would really have to go in the complete tank down the stretch and just fall apart, which again, it is the NBA. Anything's possible. So no, I'm confident that they're going to have a good shot to stay in the top 6, but until it's done, I'm kind of we'll see.
Hey, B-Ball Jones on the YouTube chat says 300%. So whatever math that is, he could be right too.
I think he's right.
Yeah.
Next up, Klay Thompson said, I promise you this, when we're healthy, no one wants to see us in the playoffs. I promise you that. In fact, this is exactly how he said it, Morgan.
With 20 games left, it's such a golden opportunity for us to increase our seeding. Just getting a great rhythm, and these role guys are getting such great experience right now. It's going to pay off huge come playoff time. And I promise you this, when we're healthy, no one wants to see us in the postseason. I guarantee that. I promise you that. And we expect to win a championship. Like, while we're here, everything else is falling short. And that's a special, privileged position to be in. Not many franchises can wholeheartedly say that.
Morgan, truth or trash? Klay Thompson is delusional.
What?
I just noticed your eyes are so
I
watery
know,
again. It looked like you were you tearing up because of Klay?
No, you guys, this happens when I want to sneeze. And it doesn't go.
But you're faking it, Mo. You're just milking it for everything.
Yes, it hurts so bad.
Morgan's I just turned after playing that, and I turned to Morgan, and it just looks like she has tears.
I was looking at Deuce like I can't open my eyeball. Okay, going back to Klay Thompson. You know what's hard about this situation right now with the Warriors? It's hard to just count him out when he says that, because they have proven year after year in weird seasons, though, that they find a way. And that's why I'm having a hard time, and it's making me cry.
I'm going to say this. I don't think, as you stuff tissue up your nose, I don't think that anyone is going to be excited about, I can't wait to play the Warriors in the first round if they had that matchup. I don't think anyone's excited about that.
Yeah.
But this is a Warriors team. It's not last year's team. It's not.
I know.
And everyone needs a real, it is not that. And if you are in that thinking, it's only because you're thinking about the past. There's nothing you've seen this year that would indicate it. From Steph Curry's health, Wiggins is not around. The young guys have been inconsistent. They don't have that same type of depth that they had last year.
But what about, I agree with that, and it's a team sport, and you know how I feel about that. But what about Steph Curry? And I know we say if healthy, when healthy, but isn't it scary and hard to even doubt Steph Curry still?
Can't do it by himself.
Okay.
I have the ultimate respect. I'm just not that fearful when it comes to the Golden State Warriors. We were talking about playoff berth earlier.
Yeah.
Why is it BER?
Yeah.
Jeremy says it's where ship is docked. So it's where a team is docked in the standings. I'm going to start calling it berth with an I. And then we do an image of the Kings logo being born out of.
But do a sheet over and two legs up, and then you're just
Aaron and Sabonis' heads coming out.
No, that's we
So
could just do it.
I'm picturing Ace Ventura 2 with the rhino.
Oh God, yes.
And Rory in the chat was saying that DraftKings has the implied probability at 99% for the Kings in the playoffs. That's crazy.
Wow.
Coming up next, let's talk about the other Kings squad, the Stockton Kings.
Ooh.
One of my favorite Sacramento Kings of all time, former NBA Sixth Man of the Year winner, Bobby Jackson joins us at 1 o'clock. Do not go anywhere. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports.
See Sean Cunningham's Twitter.
Oh, what do we have? I've not seen Sean Cunningham's Twitter. Oh no! If it's a bad De'Aaron Fox thing, I'm mad at you, Chris. De'Aaron Fox says he'll be gone for the Clippers. That's great news. That's great news. Yeah, Frankie had it too. By the way,
who had it first?
Sean.
Well,
Frankie,
Yeah,
you
Sean's
need to be
always-
quicker.
Yeah, Frankie, get those fingers working, okay? Let's work those fingers out.
Well, now that Frankie said it, I'll give him the.
There you go. And I'm kidding, Frankie.
So De'Aaron Fox says he will play tomorrow after missing Tuesday's game due to wrist
Frankie
soreness.
Cascarelli. So stupid.
Fox says I should be fine.
I love it. I love that. That makes me so happy, actually. What am I going to wear tonight?
So this is bad. I was trying to find Frankie's Twitter. I'm like, man, it's not popping up. Why is it popping up? I just found out I'm not following him.
Wow.
Because it's one of those things like you always see it pop up all the time, and I just assume that I'm following him.
I think I had like DM'd him earlier this year and like I talked to him a few times, was not following him. So I'm not good about knowing who I'm following and not following until I like finally go to their page and notice it. And I'm like, oh. And with Instagram, I unfollowed so many old friends, and not because I don't like them or anything, just because I
You just don't want to see them anymore.
no, I just needed basketball on my feed. I just need basketball and Real Housewives. But that's it. And bad friends. How you doing, Deuce?
Great.
Oh, that makes me happy. Fog machine tonight if the Stockton Kings get a win.
Yeah, we're gonna do a night chat.
Maybe if I just bring in that air purifier.
Yeah, just keep bringing more and more things. In there.
What will give out first, the air purifier or the fog machine?
Oh, fog machine.
Oh, the sneeze coming? No.
I was trying not to chew so I wouldn't get yelled at.
Okay.
What if I found a purple gas mask?
There you go.
You know? Ooh, Deuce.
You know, you realize Chris is gonna clip that noise you just made. Ooh, what was
Or
that?
I'll clip that one.
What was that?
Me being cute. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, $13? Yes. And a gas mask will work with, yeah, totally. Deuce can get his fog. I can survive. Maybe I could put glitter on it too.
Hey, if you're here and you haven't, hit the thumbs up button. Let's get to 200 thumbs up before you're gone. Out of here.
I love that fog machines are popping up on my Amazon account too.
And he's supposed to join on the video. I text him, so he should be good, but
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. De'Aaron Fox is good to go against the Clippers tomorrow night. That's according to our Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cardicelli. Fox has been out since Tuesday with a wrist injury, but he will be good to go Friday night against the Clippers. Sacramento Kings are off today. They'll be back in action against those Clippers. The Clippers are going to have a back-to-back. They're right now in San Francisco to take on the Warriors. Clippers are currently in the 6th seed and a game behind in the loss column to the Warriors, who sit in the 5th seed. It is 1 o'clock. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicated to providing breakthrough remedies for men. And now more of Deuce and Mo.
Oh, yes. Juice Mason, Morgan, Reagan, appreciate you guys hanging out with us Monday through Friday from 11 to 2 p.m. Pacific time. Bobby Jackson scheduled to join us in mere moments. He better, because I texted him and said, yeah, I'm going to go.
Schedule.
I said, use that link.
You better use that link, Bobby.
Yeah, so we'll see. Oh, he's here? I'm so proud of him. He knew how to use technology.
Aw,
well, let's
see?
welcome him in. He is the
What
stock.
up? What up? What's going
NBA
on?
Oh, hey, Bobby Jackson. You already said what's up. NBA Sixth Man of the Year, Bobby Jackson. What's up, Bobby?
Hey.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing,
And
man?
Morgan, hey Morgan, how you doing? I'm sorry.
Hey, thanks, Bobby. I'm doing great. And I just want to start with, I was telling Deuce, one of my favorite things about calling Stockton Kings games is being on that scores table and looking up at you whenever you get like frustrated about something or you're not okay with something. And you just give me this look like, you see that? And I go, I know.
Yeah, it's the life of being a coach. Kids driving you crazy, understanding how not to overreact to a lot of things. I think I've grown in a lot of different areas, though.
Dude, that's what I was going to ask you about. Of course, for those who don't realize, Bobby Jackson is the head coach of the Stockton Kings, and his G League team's playing well, 16-6 in the regular season, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference in the G League. They actually play tonight at Stockton Arena against the Texas Legends. So Bobby joined us on a game day. Bobby, I know you've done the coaching thing, you've done the assistant thing, you've done a variety of roles. What's your favorite part about coaching?
You know, honestly, my favorite part is just the development part of the game, like the X's and O's. Honestly, helping young guys get to where they need to get to and develop their game, especially at the G. It's a grind every single day. So, you know, when I can help guys develop their game, figure out how to be consistent, become professionals, and understanding how to build a routine, you know, that's the big thing for me is honestly watching them thrive and grow in their own roles, but hopefully one day becoming an NBA player.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. You talk about players developing over these years, and I just feel like even as a coach talking to you about hoops over the years, I mean, you've developed in different ways as well. How do you feel that you've developed as a coach over the years?
I think with me, I think that's been the best thing for me coming into this role, you know. And I was saying this to somebody the other day, like, you don't know what coaching is like until you become a head coach. And so for me, being these last 2 years, I've learned so much tremendously outside of being behind the bench and being the player development, being in the front office. Like, it's nothing like running your own program, running your own plays, coming up with your own defensive and offensive schemes, getting guys to buy into team instead of I. You know, so I feel like this is probably the best thing for me. And I advise all guys that want to be an NBA coach to come through the G League because it's a grind. It's going to test you, but it's also going to develop you and give you that fortitude and the charisma and the knowledge that you need to be successful, whether it's high school coaching, whether it's college coaching, and NBA coaching. So for me, it's been a great opportunity just to learn and grow.
Dude, that's what the G League's about. I mean, I think the same thing even for us. Like, we want to do announcing, and I've been able to do play-by-play. Morgan as a color analyst for the Stockton Kings, and I compared what I was doing in my first year to now, and it's like just getting these reps, just getting more comfortable. Like, it goes such a long way in your development. How do you think you've changed from like day one as a head coach to now?
Last year I was trying everything. I think keeping the game simple. right? And for me, that was probably the biggest challenge for me because I watch a lot of film. I want to run a lot of ATOs, but sometimes you can't run the difficult ATOs because sometimes you just got to keep it simple just based on the roster that you have, the players that you have. And so that was probably the biggest challenge outside of the 30-second timeouts. The 30-second timeouts last year was a nightmare for me when I first started because they come fast. And now you got to really, really pay attention to drawing up your plays, and you got to be disciplined with it. So the 30-second timers was tough. But I think the biggest challenge for a G League coach is the pulling and the taking of the players, figuring out how to build consistency and chemistry and camaraderie. I think every G League goes through this. I think that's probably the number one thing that kind of handicaps you from being successful. We've done a good job with it this year with the moving and the taking of Nimi, Chima, Keon, and then KZ being up. So that's probably the toughest things is just trying to get those guys to buy into doing things the right way every single night.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about all the turnover, not seeing consistency with the players. I mean, you guys just added John Butler Jr. with the Portland Trailblazers because they don't have a G League team.
Yeah.
So you got this young guy coming in, and Deuce and I were kind of laughing about this the other day, going like, dang, when he goes back, is he going to take away all the Sacramento Kings plays and just bring them on back to the Portland Trailblazers? But seriously, it's more of that trying to add a new piece in there. What are some of the challenges adding and subtracting some of these players as you continue to go forward?
I would probably just say he doesn't have any playing time with the guys. He's a new guy in our environment, but I think we got a great group of young men on our roster where we'll welcome him with open arms. And he has a unique talent. He's 7 feet. He can shoot it. He has guard-like skills. And he doesn't demand the ball. He can play in our motion offense and understand what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. Now, if he came in like, I got to shoot. If they came in saying, well, he needs to get 15 and 20 shot attempts a game, then that would probably make it a little bit more difficult. But he's a team player. He's coming in, he's doing the right thing, and I think he has a really good shot at being a unique NBA player because of his size and his shooting ability.
Let's talk about a couple of guys that I know Kings fans in Sacramento are wondering about. Keon Ellis, who we've seen a little bit in Sacramento, but you've gotten to see him up close in Stockton. I thought last game he played probably one of his better games of the year. I mean, he's just so active defensively, plays with some intensity. What have you seen from the rookie Keon Ellis?
Oh man, he was amazing the other night. When Keon is locked in and he's playing both ends of the floor, I actually want him to shoot 8 threes a game instead of 5. Wow. Right? His ability to shoot the three at an elite level, he's shooting over 40%. So that's why I want him to get more 3-point field goal attempts. But when he locks in and he's a pest on the defensive side of the ball, it just leads to open chance, deflection, open chance opportunity, open court opportunities, deflections, steals, and it just gets him going, and he's been phenomenal for us this year, and he's grown a lot from once the season started to now, and hopefully he can continue to develop, but also help us win games down the stretch these last 10.
Yeah, that was such a fun game the other day for him. He just looked so dominant on both ends of the floor. And I think another guy a lot of Sacramento Kings fans love to talk about is Neemias Queta. And that's someone in the beginning of this season and even in the past, Deuce and I have talked about how he needs a little bit more nasty to his game. He seems to be a little bit more physical. He seems to understand what's in front of him now at the G League, trying to find his rhythm in being dominant in the paint. What do you like about Nimi?
Man, and you said it all, Morg. I think the one thing about Nimi is he's taking on the role of being a dominant force for us. And if he's not protecting the paint, he's not setting screens, he's not rebounding, he's not blocking shots, right? And he knows he has to play with that force every single night, And I think he actually has I think he has NBA talent, and he should, I think he should be on the NBA roster. Like, I love that he's with us, but he has great size. He has great work ethic. Still has some things that he has to get better with. He kind of turns the ball over a lot at the high post and still making those reads. But outside of that, man, he brings a lot of tenacity and just playing with force, right? Just trying to get him to play with force every single play, take his time, eliminate the unforced turnovers. But he's been special for us.
I imagine it's got to be pretty cool as a coach to see like guys just develop. And I know it's not all because of you coaches, but you have to take some pride when you see like some of your guys get better from when they first joined to now.
Yeah, and that comes from our coaching staff. Like, our coaching staff, they do a tremendous job. Will, Jimmy, JC, all our interns, whether it's Ryan, Aaron, and the rest of the crews that allows us to be successful. So when you see the players be successful and they develop on the floor and they playing great games, it's a lot of people have had some hands on and put hands on them and work with them.
Oh, did we lose Bobby? Bobby. Oh, man.
No.
And his screen went blank on us. Let's see if he comes back. Maybe? No. Oh, he's back. Okay, you're back. It's cut out for a second. Yeah, you're saying there's so many. You have such a great support staff to help develop these guys. Something else I did want to ask you about: the Kings, Sacramento Kings, have had like a really fun year. And I know you're busy with your own stuff, but I want to talk about the energy with this fan base, man. I'm walking around Sacramento again. It seems like everyone's talking about the Kings. What do you remember about this city when you were on the team going through like that playoff run, the early 2000s? What made that so special with the fans?
Man, the city was electric.
Yeah.
Right? We couldn't go anywhere. Everywhere we went, it was signing autographs, and you could feel that vibe again. Right, the guys are playing their butts off. They're being consistent, and they're having fun. That's the most important thing when they step out on the floor every single night. They're having fun. They're competing. They're playing at an elite level. They're sharing the ball. They're playing. The number one offensive scoring team in the league. So they're doing a great job, and I think the city is going to galvanize and be behind them. Just for the simple fact, it's been 16 years without being in the playoffs. So, when you have success, now people start to say, you know what, this is a great opportunity for us to get back behind the Sacramento Kings, but also support them. And I don't think that it has left. It's just more energized whenever you walk around Sacramento or you go somewhere. The people are really in tune to the Sacramento Kings, and when after every game, the beam goes up. Like, people love that type of stuff to bring some type of creativity to the league, but also to the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, I'm sure fans are coming up to you all the time now talking about what Sacramento is doing because you still live here. Are you feeling that from the fans too?
I still feel a little bit of love, but I've been here for 22 years. I've been here since 2000, and like, this is home for me. So, I'm a fixture wherever I go. And I think them reminding me that how well the Kings is doing, but also reminding me how well my team is doing, the Stockton Kings is doing, is amazing. Both teams are playing great basketball, and hopefully we can make a great push going into the playoffs.
You mentioned being here for this long. What made you fall in love with Sacramento? Because I feel like around the league, people are like, oh, Sacramento, that's a bad stop. But when people end up playing here, a lot of you former players end up staying in Sacramento. What was it about this city?
It was the best. I mean, when I first got here, to be honest with you, my rookie year, oh, man.
Uh-oh.
It was bad. It was nothing to do in Sacramento. And I actually said this. I said this my rookie year. I would never come play for the Sacramento Kings because it wasn't nothing to do. It was nothing but agriculture land. Yes, I actually said that my rookie year. Because you get used to all the big cities,
Yeah.
playing in Houston, playing in Miami, playing in New York, playing in Chicago, right? And then you get the Sac, and it's like 20 years ago, it was small, nothing going on. So now it just grew on me. My kids was born here. So you know, the city of Sacramento is treating me well, and I don't have nothing but respect for the city of Sacramento.
Bobby, one more thing for you too. Deuce and I were talking about this earlier with players nowadays and how it's got to be nice when you're obviously playing it for an organization that has like a great fan base that loves you, that's, you know, energetic. Is that something that a player would actually care about when looking to sign with a team, or is that just an extra bonus?
Say that again. You cut out on me.
No,
Just a little
it's just
bit
about
more.
fan base. You know, like think about like we can go over like some crappy fan bases, and you think about like some fan bases that are ruthless, like Philly or you know New York or wherever people are just going to boo on their players. Does it motivate a player to want to sign somewhere when they know that there's a cool fan base there, or is that just a bonus?
I think it's a bonus. I think players, today players, they don't worry about the fan base. They worry about the city on activities and how big it is. I think the biggest thing is when you're a small market team, it's really tough to understand and get.
And Bobby, it froze again. Did it freeze again?
They play a huge part in that. But that's a small that they play in. I think when you think about signing somewhere and playing for a team, I think you look at how big the city is, the entertainment side, the wins and losses, and then the fan base comes. I think that comes down the road. I think that's like third or fourth.
Yeah.
In my mindset. But when you come to Sacramento, I think that's the one thing we've been known for. Our fan base has been tremendous, and it's been amazing.
Well, Bobby, I appreciate you hanging out with us for a bit, man. Good luck tonight. We'll see you tonight. Hopefully, you guys can keep it rolling in Stockton, man. You guys have been killing it this year, 16-6, the number 2 spot in the West. I think just a game out, number 1 behind Memphis. Woo! Bobby wants to be coaching a playoff game in the G League this year, so let's go, Bobby.
Yeah, we need to make that happen, man. Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Bobby
Bye,
Jackson.
Bobby.
We'll see him tonight. Yeah, if you don't have anything to do tonight, go down to Stockton Arena, see the Kings take on the Legends. You get to see Keon Ellis, Namias Keita, and that group that's like, they're playing good basketball. That's the one thing, too, with the G League. These guys play so hard.
Oh, it's so fun watching, because think about it. Both squads have guys that all have the same goal, and that's to make it to the next level. So everyone wants to make sure not only that they're showcasing their talents, but by showcasing your talents, you have to be a good teammate too. So sometimes you're just seeing some really good basketball go down.
Bobby Jackson is one of my favorites. He not only is a player, man, but he's just a really, really good person.
You know what I love though? He's blunt, will tell you how it is, but still is just like this very good human being, and I just feel so lucky I've been able to get to know him over these last couple of years.
Yeah, and I think he's got a good ability to connect with players because what you just said, like, he keeps it real. It's not like you are going to know where you stand with Bobby Jackson. Yep. And I love that he's getting this experience to be a head coach. You know, being a head coach in the G League, like we were just talking about, is tough. I mean, Jordy Fernandez, who's with the Kings right now, used to be a G League coach with the Cleveland Cavs organization. And it's such a good experience because you aren't going to get the same type of things you do in the NBA, right?
Yeah.
And so to get that where players are coming and going and the travel's different and the preparation's different, and you know, it's not all about wins and losses, but you want to win, but you want to develop. There's a lot of things you have to balance the G League coach, and it's good that Bobby Jackson's getting those reps. I also just love that a guy who was such an important player to this organization when he played here is still around and involved.
I love it.
You want to get to a couple more truth or trash I had that we did not have time for?
Sure.
All right. Good. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. What if I said no?
I would say, what do you want to do?
Oh God. Yeah. No. Truth or trash, please.
Here's one for you.
Truth or trash.
There's no clear-cut favorite for the NBA MVP.
I'll go with truth. Because in some ways you want to say clear cut, it's Jokic. I mean, but 3 weeks ago I'm saying Jason Tatum.
Right.
I know that's your clear cut, Deuce.
It's
but
not my clear cut. I don't have a clear cut.
Okay. Oh, so are you also trash?
I'm trash.
Okay.
And the NBA.com had their MVP ladder. It had Jokic 1, Giannis 2, Embiid 3, Tatum 4, and then Doncic, Luka 5th. Yeah, I mean, Jokic has been phenomenal. They have the number 1 record in the Western Conference.
Embiid, dude, that's a good one.
Embiid's been great.
Yep.
Giannis has been really great.
I know.
And the Bucks have won now officially 16 in a row after beating the Magic yesterday.
That can't be right.
Yes.
It's right this time.
I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, it's not a story today. No, there's no story about it. By the way, Giannis, I mentioned this while you walked out the other night walked out yesterday to go to the bathroom during a break. What Giannis has been doing lately, those numbers, ridiculous numbers, he's doing it under like 30 minutes a night.
So he's getting again, you want to talk about load management. How about you have a good team that allows your stars to not have to wear out their bodies night in and night out? I mean, yeah, you all want to do that. It's just a tough league to do it in, but the Bucks, fantastic job being able to manage that.
Yeah, I think it's a fun MVP race. It's interesting, the conversation that was being had yesterday. Like JJ Redick went pretty hard on, hey, Jokic, what he's been able to do. And then Kendrick Perkins had some ridiculous take about the MVP conversation.
What?
About how the multi-time winners recently have been Larry Bird, Steve Nash, and potentially Jokic. What do they all have in common?
Ooh.
And they're outside the top 10 in scoring. And then it's yeah, but he kind of cherry-picked some stats.
Mm-hmm.
When it's well, Magic Johnson didn't lead the league in scoring. He was outside. So he cherry-picked a bit. It's so tough because no one has a true criteria as to what is the MVP. And to be honest, I don't know. I know everyone wants to have it's got to be this guy, and these analytics say this. I don't know. I watch Giannis and I go, who's like him? Who can stop that guy?
Yeah.
The guy puts up numbers all the time. He's a freak. He's good defensively. He impacts the game in so many ways, and his team's awesome.
Every single year we go over different criteria. And if your criteria is he's most valuable to that team, and without him, the team would be so different. And then others, it's, oh no, he is the best and he could beat anyone, any night, any game. It doesn't matter who he's matched up against. There's different things that people factor in when they have their MVP candidates. And there's so many good players playing on such a high level. It's a conversation, and it's going to be somewhat subjective at times to just what you feel like an MVP is.
Well, and I also just don't think, because there's not a clear cut.
Yeah.
There's a debate. And I just, and maybe it's because none of those guys are on the Kings. I don't really care much about it, but I'm going, yeah, I could make a case for Jokic.
Yeah.
I could make a case for Giannis and Embiid, Tatum. Those are the 4. I think that's fair to say. Those are the 4. The Luka thing, no. If your team's hanging around 500, you're not an MVP candidate. We're moving on.
Okay.
That's how I look at it.
Well, now I feel like this year more than ever, you can absolutely say that. That can be your criteria.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying
welcome.
that. Hey, also, I want to hook some people up. If you're caller number 10 right now, you're getting hooked up because you got to get ready for the fallout, Morgan. I messed that up. The fallout from AEW Revolution. March 8th at Golden One Center. AEW All Elite Wrestling coming to Sacramento for the first time for Rampage and, of course, Dynamite Wednesday. Secure seats today at goldenonecenter.com/events, or if you're caller 10 right now at 339-1140, that's 916-339-1140, you will win a pair of tickets to All Elite Wrestling. Christopher Laud will be in the building. Will he be in the ring?
I
Will
will
he?
be in the building.
In the ring?
Where are you sitting, Chris?
I am up in one of the lofts.
Whoa! I was gonna say fans can go see Chris for a lot. You know, if you want. No, you can't.
Security will be
In the
covering
loft?
that loft, huh?
Will the champ be there?
I don't think so. It's been a while since we've seen the champ.
Okay, all
He
right.
popped up a couple weeks ago, but
Okay.
Facts.
We have more from Chris coming up because we got story time with Chris for a
Think
lot
I need
as
that.
well. It's Deuce
are you
and
sure
Mo.
you want that?
I want that.
It's coming up. Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Tinkle time.
Oh, so are you also trash?
I'm trash. Damn it.
It's Tinker time. Banana, nana, nana, banana. I love to tinker, baby. Na-na-na-na-na, na-na. I'm about to pee my pants. Ba-na-na-na-na. Can you find me a toilet? Ba-na-na-na-na. Because I'm gonna urinate right now, baby. That was a cookie in my mouth. Yeah. I'm such a piece of trash. Look at me. Look at me, girls. I'm eating a cookie while singing about pee, huh? Oh my God. Oh. Thank you. I needed this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Mo's Minute. Sometimes you just need to breathe. Sometimes you just need to pee. But right now, we're going to breathe. So we're going to breathe through our nose, if you're able to and don't have a sinus infection, and out through our mouths. Ready? This has been another edition of Mo's Minute. Hi, Deuce. We just did like 7 different things while Deuce was gone.
Good job. Good job. All right, let's get to 200 thumbs up. You didn't get there.
Oh, so sorry.
Scooter 916, Morgan, what network are the Stockton Kings on so I can watch? Tonight's game is on ESPN Plus. So if you have ESPN Plus, you can watch it.
Man, I like when it's on YouTube because everyone has access.
I was telling the guys the other day, I'm just like, I saw like a bunch of like people talking in Portuguese. I'm like, is this big in Brazil or something like that? And then it's like, oh,
Namias Keita, baby.
Dude,
Portugal loves Namias Keita.
Loves.
It's, yeah. I mean, they're up watching last game was perfect for them because it was 11 a.m. here, which, what time is it right now?
I believe that is 7 o'clock there.
Yes, probably.
Wow. You know your international times, don't
know.
you?
I need to know European times.
Yeah.
They're 8 hours ahead. So when we have a 7 o'clock game, they're getting up early to watch it. And by the way, they get up early to watch Namias Keita.
Like 4 a.m. early.
Oh, are they frustrated if he is in foul trouble or doesn't play?
Oh, God. Would you like?
Thank you. By the way, tomorrow's show is going to be fun. We have Sac State women's head coach Mark Campbell, Sac State men's head coach David Patrick, and then with Kings Roundtable, Frankie's going to be here with us in the 1 o'clock hour.
That'd be fun.
Frankie Cardicelli. Supposed to be Brendan
Still.
Nunez, but I got to text him because apparently he double booked himself. He's on with Callis and Rami, which is great, but like you'd think like he'd be, hey, I'm actually already on with Callis and Rami. No, he was like, Fine, I'll double dip. I'll be on all day on that station.
Wait, why wouldn't he? They're different conversations.
Yeah, but Morgan's so close together. It's like
Oh.
he's on 1 to 2 with us, and then he's on at 2:30 with them. That's weird.
That's close. Okay.
And we're team players.
Definitely team players. Tomorrow's podcast is going to look a little different.
Oh, yeah, we need to talk.
We could have said,
Ryan.
Hey, Nick, if you don't give us Nunez for a whole hour, Mo is going to sneeze all over the keyboard.
And not even you can spray it away.
But we're team players. We would never do that.
No.
So, Chris, seriously though, from a technical standpoint,
For tomorrow.
we're good.
Cool. Yeah, even if Frankie was in here or not. Namaste.
Let's see have we hit the 200 thumbs up mark? We just hit it. 200 thumbs up. Thank you. Hitting that mark every day is big.
Thanks,
It
guys.
all it does is help this page grow. Make sure you're subscribed too. That helps the page.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. De'Aaron Fox is good to go against the Clippers tomorrow night. That's according to our Kings cowboy, Frankie Cardicelli. Fox has been out since Tuesday with a wrist injury, but after confirming today, he will be playing against the Clippers on Friday. Kings are off. They'll be playing those Clippers on Friday night, but the Clippers are in San Francisco tonight to take on the Warriors. Clippers are currently in the 6th seed and a game behind in the loss column to the Warriors, who sit in the 5th seed. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that the Lakers are going to give LeBron some more time to get healthy. Lakers now plan to reevaluate LeBron James' right foot tendon injury in about 3 weeks. It is 1:30. Time to check out Coastside Medical Clinic, who's dedicating to providing breakthrough remedies for men. Now more of Deuce and Mo.
Oh, tomorrow's show is going to be a good one. We are going to get you ready for another big game. Kings back in action against the LA Clippers. A rematch, but this time it's at Golden One Center. De'Aaron Fox will play in that game after missing the Kings' last game against OKC. He was back at practice today, and Frankie Cardicelli says he will be back and playing for Sacramento. You can check out Frankie Cardicelli's work at SactownSports.com. A ton of great content there. Always posting stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Great local content at SactownSports.com. Also, tomorrow's show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting ready for Kings Clippers.
Yeah, we are.
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
We're going to have at 11:13 tomorrow. Very specific. Write that down. I expect you to remember. We got Mark Campbell, Sac State women's head coach.
Yeah.
We also have at 12:30, David Patrick, the Sac State men's head coach. Both those squads are getting ready for the Big Sky Conference tournaments. Both coming off huge seasons, successful seasons.
Our city is so dope right
It's
now.
a basketball
it's not
town.
even funny. I know.
And if you want to count Stockton in there, the Stockton
my
Kings
God.
are balling.
Get in there.
Sacramento, we got the Sac State Hornets women's team and Hornets men Stingers up balling. We're going to highlight them on Friday's show. Also, Kings Roundtable.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
My mood.
I honestly am really eager to see what the vibes are like at Golden One Center tomorrow. I think, we thought the vibes were hot on that Saturday game against the Mavs.
Yeah.
I think it feels even more elevated now. I think this town is believing in this team. Even if you go, and we've had this conversation. I think Jason brought this up. I was like, oh, could they like be a championship contender? You know, usually if you're a top 3 seed, you're like in the mix.
He did bring it up.
They're not in the mix, and it's okay. And I think I had someone go at me about that, Morgan. It's like, how could you say they're not going to win a championship? Blah, blah, blah.
Someone went at you? No
Yeah, and I'm
way.
like, because it's not time yet.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Prove me wrong. I will be the first one like, dude, I was wrong on that. We're not there. And it's okay. I'm just eager to enjoy this ride, see what the vibes are like tomorrow in a big game against the Clippers.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think even in the beginning of the season when so many people whenever we do those preseason shows and people want us to make predictions, I hate predictions. But I try to be realistic, and my realistic approach was, I think the Kings will be in the play-in conversation, but they're not going to make the playoffs. And I usually don't take a stand that direct and say they're not going to do something, but I just didn't understand how they would take this leap in this short amount of time and how everything fell into place perfectly. The West keep crumbling. Western Conference crash. But seriously, it has been nice the way that things have been going, but also the Kings have put themselves in this position. It's not just because of flukiness happened in the Western Conference.
Well, we'll have it all covered on Friday's show. Before we move on, though, I think it's time. It's time for Story Time with Christopher Lawn, baby!
This program for an important announcement. It's that time of the day where Christopher Lawn gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. It's Story Time.
What is Chris bringing to the table? These are the stories that we probably wouldn't cover otherwise, but Chris brings them to the table. Let's go.
So this story comes from San Francisco, California, the Daily Beast. And this is something that Morgan preaches about all the time.
Oh no, okay.
Esther Crawford, head of Twitter payments, she went all in on Twitter 2.0. Twitter 2.0, of course, is when Elon Musk took over for Twitter and made his changes and everything like that.
It's been so good.
Yeah, so good.
She went viral in November when she tweeted out a picture of herself sleeping in her office. She quote tweeted that picture saying, when your team is pushing round the clock to make deadlines, sometimes you #sleep where you work.
That's
she's
unhealthy.
She's a team player doing everything in that. Fortunately, 2 weeks ago, Esther was let go along with 49 other employees for the company.
Is that the story?
That's the story.
Oh my God.
Sleeping on the job.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you're at work, you're working. You're not sleeping. If you need to go to sleep, you go to a thing called home in your bed.
How many times have I said to you people, you can do anything you want for your company, your organization. They won't give a damn about you at the end of the day. So no, do not give them your life. Do what you need to do. Do not sleep at work to work around the clock because they're just going to fire you 40 days later.
Dang.
Thank you, Mo.
Yep, got you.
All right, let's move on to New York City. This comes from the BBC News.
Hello.
42 teenagers from Bar Beacon School in Walsall were treated to an impromptu trip to New York following a ski trip in Lincoln, New Hampshire.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Fun.
The students were due to come back home last Saturday, but were forced to stay after the lodge that they were staying at destroyed 41 of the students' passports.
Oh,
what destroyed?
God, the hotel.
The hotel destroyed their passports. They shredded them.
Whoa. How do you shred passports?
With the paper shredder.
Whole thing in there.
I understand how it's actually shredded.
Yeah,
I understand how
okay.
a shredder works.
Okay.
But you have to hold the
Yeah,
passport,
and
put it in.
in.
It's a deliberate act.
Right.
It's not
It's vicious.
we're just
It sounds
chucking
vicious.
So the UK embassy in New York has been working around the clock, and we're able to make it so the kids could go home a few days later. The lodge has been contacted, but there has been no statement, and it is not clear why the passports were destroyed.
Okay.
You know what? Honestly, I'm going to say they deserved it. And here's why. I guarantee high school kids, impromptu trip, New York, lodge. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
They destroyed it.
I think you're onto something.
They destroyed it.
Because this is what I caught in the story.
What?
There was 42 students on this trip. 41 passports were destroyed.
Oh, so one kid destroyed the passports.
Oh, that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, instead of the lodge being like, we don't like the kids.
The kid had so much fun that they wanted to stay forever.
So wait, whatever kid's passport wasn't ruined is...
That is my number one suspect. But most likely is somebody just like, I don't know.
Is it illegal to ruin someone's passport too?
I I don't know.
I mean, that kid should go to jail.
Pass that law, Morgan says. We have a huge issue in this country. We have people shredding passports. So weird.
All right, I think we have time for one more.
Yeah, we do.
This comes from Champaign, Illinois, Yahoo Sports.
Okay.
So last week, Illinois forward Matthew Mayer missed a few days of practice. Did you see the story?
No.
So he missed a couple days of practice, and then when he came back, he was asked why he's been gone. What was did you have an illness or that? And here's him explaining it.
I've actually been sick the last few days. I had caffeine poisoning. I literally had 6 monsters the day of the game. I only had 1 before, but I had 5 after because I like a caffeine-induced euphoria to play video games in. And so I could barely get out of bed the next day. It was like basically like a caffeine hangover. And so this is my first day of practicing since then.
A little too yeah, just one of those things that kind of happens. No, bro, don't eat. You're drinking poison.
Poison.
I don't think I could drink half of one monster.
I couldn't even have a sip. So if you're having that many, yeah, you're there's going to be something wrong with his kidneys.
You can play video games.
Like, I know, I don't think people still understand energy drinks and what is happening inside their bodies, but proceed.
Well, you don't. By the way, when you're in college, you don't think about that. I would
remember when
drink.
Four Locos were a thing.
Oh my God. Morgan's like, I don't remember that.
Is that what I sound like when I was drinking?
Yeah. On Four Loco? Yeah, probably. That's insane. We should get to this breaking news.
What?
Kings related. Your NBA Western Conference Coach of the Month, Mike Brown. Mike Budenholzer wins in the East, but yes, Mike Brown has won the NBA's Coach of the Month. The Kings went 8-4 in the month of February. They're the number 3 seed in the West, and Mike Brown gets some love.
Watching Deuce trying to clap his hands to the beat while reading that was
I did.
No,
that's like one of those things where you like have to go like this.
I did it. No, it was bump, 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 and you were like this. It was cute.
Man, Morgan going full whiplash over here with Deuce.
We got one more final segment. Kettles and Rami at 2:00. Our final segment coming up. It's Deuce and Mo on Sactown Sports. Dude, I'm glad Mike Brown.
Sweet stories too,
Great
by the way.
stories. Oh, thank
like
you.
Not just like a good little Thursday. Don't drink too much energy drinks,
There was one more really good one, but it's a little bit longer than I want to
why
say.
don't you tell it right now?
No, I'll tell it on Friday.
Oh, okay.
On Friday.
On Friday. Deuce, in this off season,
okay. Yeah.
we're gonna find voice lessons for you.
Okay.
So then you and I can duet on the show.
Yeah, that's what everybody wants, right?
Chris?
Should we start an a cappella group? A
And then-
3-person a cappella group.
Where's your I don't know verbiage, but where's your tone? What is it called?
I don't know.
Are you an alpha? Is
An
that right?
alpha?
What is it called?
Alto?
An alto. Voice levels. Voice lessons popped up. Shouting, loud voice, speaking, whisper. Nope, that's not it. I should do
Yeah, I'm shouting.
singing levels. Oh, soprano, alto, tenor, baritone, bass. And one more. I don't know what that. No, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which one's which though. You're probably give me a oh yeah, you're definitely a baritone. I feel like baritone's like lower. Maybe you're like roughly a C3 to an A4.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay. I'm probably an alto. Now do yours together. Ready? 3, 2, 1. No. You gotta go here. You gotta go. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. That's better.
I swear this freaking room
is disgusting.
Hot, cold.
First you're hot, then you're
Then
cold.
You're yes, then you're no. You're in, then you're out.
You're out, but you're
Not. What a great song. Enough time for you to go tinkle time. Who's this guy? 3, 2, 1. Better. Good. Lessons are working. You're up, then you're down. Thank you, Leandro. Chris sounds like Linda from Bob's Burgers.
No.
What's that? I know Bob's
The
Burger.
mom.
Does she have a deep voice?
Yeah.
Okay.
All of them have deep voices.
Oh, really? Okay. Bebe says Lois Bass is a foghorn, I believe. Deuce is looking up some stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, thank you, Scooter, for knowing those names. Sorry, I should have looked.
I like Benjamin's post right here.
What does it say?
Chris is working on getting into some possible BTE shots this week.
What are BTE?
Being the Young
elite.
Bucks.
Oh, BTE?
Being the elite.
Oh yeah. Cash. Hi.
Great. That's a great YouTube series.
Their YouTube series?
Yeah.
You want to know one of their worst things ever?
Their interview with you.
Well, that was bad.
Yep.
But I would say the video that came out right after all the CM Punk drama. They didn't even.
They didn't do anything.
No.
It's Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo.
Sactown Sports.
Deuce Mason, Morgan Reagan coming up in a few minutes. You got Candles and Rami taking you from 2 to 6 p.m. We're live and local Monday through Friday, 6 a to 6 p on Sactown Sports. So we mentioned just before the break, Mike Brown wins NBA Western Conference Coach of the Month.
Yes.
After the Kings went 8-4. Let's give some love to Sac State real fast, Morgan.
What happened?
Kalasia Dean from Sac State, the Big Sky Conference MVP.
Dude.
21 points a game in her first season at Sac State. She came from Oakland and she was at the Horizon League. So she transfers to Sac State this year. 21 points a game, 5.2 assists, 5.4 rebounds. Great shooting, 46% from the field, 41% from 3 on 6 attempts a game. Kalasia Dean, your Big Sky Conference most valuable player.
That's amazing. It's so cool seeing Sac State and just Sacramento sports just thriving right now. Yeah, that's exactly how it makes me feel.
Yeah. I do think it's cool to see local teams, do well. It's not, Sac State's not like had a history of success when it comes to collegiate sports. The football team has really turned it around in recent years.
Yeah.
Both basketball programs are seemingly headed in a nice direction. And the Kings, man. Kings.
And then the Kings. I mean, both, again, we mentioned this in the beginning of the show, but both King squads, right? Stockton and Sacramento. And the reason why that's significant at all, because what it truly means, in my opinion, is that Mike Brown and his system that he's putting in place with the big squad, it's all trickling down, even though Stockton has to adjust. They have different personnel. It's not like they can just run things that Domas Sabonis is running, but still they have that free-flowing offense. And when shots weren't falling, they pushed the pace. And now you're seeing shots fall for the Stockton Kings. They're really intense on the defensive end. Sacramento Kings, just so much success. I'm loving it.
Hell yeah. We've not done this in a while.
What?
It's time for closing time. It's been a minute since we did a little closing time at the end of the show.
Closing time. It's closing time. But before we go, we have to give you a last call.
All right. This day, 1962, guys.
Yes.
Wilt Chamberlain scored 100 points in a game. Now, there's no footage of this really, right? So who knows if it really happened.
There's the picture.
Yes.
Apparently, because he held a piece of paper that said 100, that means he scored 100 in a game.
Correct.
I'm just kidding around. So he scores 100 in a game this day in 1962. He was 36 for 63 from the field, 28 for 32 from the free throw line. He said, if they hadn't just tried to stop me without regard to whether they would win or not, I could have scored a lot more. Do you think Wilt's record ever gets broken? 100 in a game. I'm going to say yes.
I'm leaning toward yes. And I know the closest has been 80 with Kobe. Wait,
81.
was that the closest? Yeah, 81 with Kobe. And then obviously you're seeing Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell. Who's the other one this year? Dame got it this year with Donovan Mitchell. And it just feels like with the way that this league is evolving, and especially if this league ever gets a 4-point line for some reason, yeah, I think we'll see it broken.
What about you, Chris?
I think it gets broken, but do you think it's by somebody that's already playing in the league or someone that's going to come into the league?
Someone that's going to come into the league.
I think so too.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, look how much
it's going to be.
The game keeps growing.
Deuce Mason Jr. Yeah, right.
That playoff berth.
A 6 foot guard from Sacramento.
Oh, his 2K player.
I always make my 2K player. He kind of looks like me, but he actually has a beard that he could grow, and he's like 6'11". I've tried to build him like Kevin Durant.
Everything that you want to be in life.
You don't put him as junior, though, do you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is his name Deuce?
No, yeah, I put Deuce Mason. I don't play 2K in a long time.
Oh.
By the way, in that game, it was interesting hearing people Wilt talk about it before his death. This was from like the late 80s. I found this article. He said 2 or 3 Knicks told him later that they were ordered to play defense, like kind of aggressive fouling the whole time by their coach, Eddie Donovan. He says it just wasn't the right way. They were behind by 25 points, and then they were told to hold the ball. They must have considered it a stigma to let me score 100. But according to Eddie Donovan, the head coach of the Knicks, he said the fouling worked both ways. He said they would foul us and we would foul them. The game became a farce, but you try to keep anyone from scoring the best you can. So the way we celebrate this game is like, 100 points, but apparently it was kind of just a mess of a game.
Yeah, well,
didn't it stop after he scored 100?
I think it did. And it was played in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Okay, either way, yeah, you guys, no video of this. Like, let's just be real about all of it. However it went down, it's not like it looked like Dame's 71
It definitely
point
did not. Wilt was not stopping launching for 3. Apparently, their center, the Knicks were terrible at the time. Their center had the flu.
Not like today.
Did not play. And then, he was pretty much going up against 6'7" guys the whole time, short, small guys.
I don't know if anyone remembers the Paris twins, but they ended up going to Oklahoma or Ohio, I forget where. But they were always 6 something, and I remember playing them in AAU, and that's what it looked ridiculous, them going up against small little girls all the time, and it was just pure dominance from them. So I'm sure it looked something like that.
Some rich dude paid a lot of money for a jersey worn by Joe Montana in Super Bowl 19, and then 4 years later in Super Bowl 23. Yes, he wore the same jersey in Super Bowl 19 and then Super Bowl 23. Apparently, the morning of the Super Bowl 23, his wife Jennifer pulled the jersey from a scrapbook and packed it in Joe's stadium bag with a note, maybe you want to wear it again. He wore it again. Anyway, Joe Montana sold this jersey. How much do you think it sold for?
I'm going to guess $500,000.
$1.2 million.
I was just going to say 1.2 million.
Stop it.
But kind of interesting. I had no idea that story happened where he wore the same jersey in both games 4 years apart. He made a lot of money recently, nearly $3 million by selling old merch, old souvenirs or whatever you want to call them, memorabilia.
Yeah.
The uniform he wore in his final game with the Niners sold for $232,000. A signed helmet from his final game with the team, in which he did not play, $121,000. The ball from his final San Francisco 49ers touchdown pass, $43,000. His signed Kansas City Chiefs uniform from his final game, $92,000. His high school jersey sold for $36,000. I actually think that's a cooler piece of memorabilia.
I was going to say that's my favorite one.
He also sold his Pro Football Hall of Fame jacket, $36,000. Dude, I would love to be rich enough to buy a Hall of Fame jacket. I'd wear that in here all the time.
So, oh man, I can't even remember what part of that was surprising to me.
All of it. I'm not done. His twice signed inscribed Super Bowl 23 last drive playbook, $10,000. It was a 94 lot auction, including Montana's game used and signed Notre Dame helmet from the Cotton Bowl in 1979. He brought in a total of $3.7 million.
Now I know the helmet. that he for the last game for the Niners that he
Yeah.
never played in. There's a good chance he never even wore that helmet.
That's a good point. But maybe he touched it.
He
Dude.
probably touched it.
You guys, that is
Yeah.
why. You know what's interesting? If he was dead, that would sell for even more. All of that stuff. All of it.
It's very interesting. I didn't think about that, Morgan.
Super interesting.
Did you guys think about that?
No, we weren't because he's alive.
Well, I was just thinking about how cheap everything was. I mean, when I say cheap, I couldn't afford it and once again would never want to pay for anything like that. But at the same time, that seemed like low prices for some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to go.
Okay.
Gals and Rami are coming up.
Bye.
We love you, but we got to go.
Goodbye.